That's a shocker. Get big Pimpin, spending cheese. I didn't even check to see if anybody else is live. I'm an asshole. What time? Let me see. Let's see. Oh, God. Oh, look who's live. Make a Mobster's live. That bitch. All right. Nobody else is live. That I could see. No. How many times is this woman going to go live about this poor girl? Oh, my God, dude. Unbelievable. Oh, that's what I meant to look at. Hold on a second. Good morning. What am I doing? I'm talking to myself, apparently. Talking to myself. Hold on a second. Good morning, nonsense. How are you? I'm sitting here talking to myself. That's what I'm doing. I am literally talking to myself. I was like, oops, I didn't check to see if anybody went live. All right. Yeah. My laptop's on 82%. 5 people in the chat. I just looked at my numbers this morning. I'm like, hold on. I'll tell you guys. Let me see where I'm at here. Shockingly. Good morning from the UK. Good morning. Who's commented that? I was cracking up because I'm listening. Oh, she's in my head. Hold on a second. Why were you gonna go live? Hold on. Let me look at this so I can tell you guys an accurate figure here. I am 7,972 subscribers. So I'm like, you guys do the math because I'm really bad at it, but I'm like a little over 20 something subscribers away from 8,000 subscribers. I'm still laughing about the angel hair pasta. Oh, goodness. Good morning. I know who you are, Jaren. I see you. Hey, Nana. Hey, Ms. Leah. Zoya. I love that name. Zoya. So, yeah. Good morning. I was going to go live a little earlier, but I was on the phone with my friend. Yesterday, and I didn't even realize it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, holy shit, I got to go to bed. We were just talking about life, all the crazy things in life. Good morning. Hey, Creative Witch. Hey, Texas Tiffany. Band-Aids in the house. How you doing, girl? Carol. A name close to my heart. That was my mom's name. Hey, Susan. How you doing? So yesterday, okay, obviously I wasn't live during the day. I was just doing like random things around here. And so, I'm like, let me see, what's going on. Good morning. Hey, Gumby. I always feel like Gumby's waving to me because of her picture. Her or his picture, I should say, because I don't know. So I turn on, I see a Mallory's fucking live, right? And I'm like, oh, what's this idiot saying? Of course, this motherfucker is milking. Hey, Judith. Good morning, Earth Angel. Beth, if I missed you guys, Commander Ender Turkey, which is the funniest name. So I'm like, let me see what she has to say today, So I go on there and I'm like, she's milking the shit out of this St. Jude's situation, okay? Now, listen, I got an email from somebody the other day who was really fucking upset with me. I'm not going to share who it was. I'm not going to call the person out, okay? But while I was live, I actually saw the email, but I didn't read it until I ended my live, okay? And this person was upset with me, okay, about the way I was like handling the situation. And she had screenshot certain comments in the chat that they were upset about, okay? And they were talking about microaggressions and all this other shit, okay? And I like this person. I have nothing against this person. I like this person, okay? And I hope that there's no hard feelings. I don't, I understand they were upset. I don't necessarily think they were upset with me, but maybe just as a whole. And I thought to myself, I don't know this person except for just seeing them as a name in a chat and saying hi to them and talking to them in a chat. And I don't know what their story is outside of YouTube. Like, they might very well have a family member who's transgender, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what their story is, okay? But they were kind of upset. And you know what? My bad. I should have made an announcement the other day that I'm not gonna allow any trans like bashing. But again, you know what? I thought about it while I was live, and then I didn't say it because there's different people interpret things differently. Okay, so Mallory thinks that trans phobia is somebody just simply questioning her gender. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't think is transphobia, but I'm not a trans person, so my view on what's transphobia is going to be different than maybe hers. Is there a definition of what it is? Yeah, but it's up to us, I guess, to interpret the definition, right, in our own minds, in our own heads. So this person was upset. There was some, I'm just going to be honest. There was no the comments that they sent to me in the chat, I didn't feel like were bad. Like, I didn't feel like either one of the comments were offensive in any way. And even with me looking at the chat, trying to make sure, and my mods looking at the chat, like, things are gonna slip by the cracks. Okay, I don't put pressure on my mods to really pay attention to every comment. It's hard to read every single comment. That is my transphobia. My daughter is trans and says it is not. Okay, all right. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the interpretation is. So I tried to explain to this person, the other day, that this is a new topic, sort of, right? I know trans people have been around for a long time, but it was always like a behind the scenes kind of hidden thing, right? It's just come out into the public and has been more accepted into the public recently, right? And so it's a issue that I feel like a lot of people don't understand right now, right? A lot of people, I tried to explain to this person. First of all, I have people from all over the world watching my channel, right? From all over different countries. People, somebody just said, good morning from the UK. So there's people from all over the world. And not only all, Canada, you're talking, over in Europe, there's people in Australia. So there's people from all over the world, and different parts of the world are at different points of acceptance when it comes to this stuff, right? And then even within our own country here in America, there different parts of the country look at things differently. People down south are a little more conservative than they are up here. There's a lot more liberal people up here that are more accepting of things, so I don't expect everybody to come in my chat and understand these issues, because whether it's culturally they don't understand it, religiously they don't understand it or accept it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a different issue than, say, racism. Okay, racism is not tolerated in here at all whatsoever. You cannot come in my chat and no racist bullshit. Okay, and in my mind, and if people take offense to this, I'm sorry, but racism is different. You can't even compare the two, because a person who's black, they're born black. They're born black, okay? There's nothing they could do to change their skin color. They're born black, but they're the same exact as we are, just different skin color. So you can't compare it to somebody who's born one way and then chooses to change their gender somewhere along the line. You can't compare the two, because they're not the same. I heard Mallory comparing it the other day. When I was listening, I was getting infuriated listening to her. Okay. And some people might disagree with me on this, but this is just how I feel. This is my perspective. Okay. It's spending G's, not G's. I think it's G's. G's, like thousands. Okay. So you can't even compare the two, because one's a choice and one is just the way you are, the way you're born. Okay. So at some point in life, somebody who's transgender, they're born one way and they choose to be another way. So with those choices, okay, you have to kind of expect the level of acceptance is going to be different. Okay. It's going to vary. It depends on people's religions. Some people that are, in strict religions, they think it's like you're the devil if you transition your gender. Okay. I don't feel that way. I just want to make that clear. I don't care what you do in your personal life. If you're going to be a happier, more productive human in our society, because you don't feel comfortable in your skin and you want to transition to another gender, dude, I'm all for it. I support it 1000%. Okay. 1000%. I've always been respectful towards Mallory. I know that she's a she. I always use the proper pronouns when I'm addressing her, when I'm talking about her. So like I that's why I felt a little taken back the other day when I got this email, because I was like, listen, I have an opinion on this situation and I have an opinion on Mallory. They said like, oh, you hate Mallory. No, I don't hate Mallory, okay? Because I don't even know Mallory enough to hate her. I hate the things that Mallory does on here. I hate the way Mallory behaves. I don't even want to say hate because that's even a strong word. I dislike the way Mallory behaves on here. I don't like her actions. But her as a person, I don't know Mallory enough to hate her. And okay, to have even hate in my heart. I just look at her and I'm like, I can't believe the way she acts. And I felt very strongly the other day when I watched this video about, Mallory at this St. Jude's thing. And I'm like, she is definitely over inflating what actually happened to her that day. Way over inflating it. And it seems like every day she talks about it, it becomes more and more dramatic and further away from what actually happened. You know what I'm saying? Like she's now just twisting it. And what I heard yesterday is her just completely fucking twisting it in her mind. And I'm like, look at the area she was in, right? I finally did my research about the Tyree Nichols situation, okay? And I watched the videos and I'm fucking just like, wow. Wow. What happened to that guy is just horrible, horrible. I mean, this man did nothing. He did nothing. He lost his fucking life, this man, over nothing. Okay. He got pulled over. For those of you guys who don't know, young black man. He was on his way home from work, I believe at FedEx. Okay. Got pulled over by the Memphis police and went for reckless driving, supposedly. I didn't see the video, and that's the one thing I don't know if it's even out there because I didn't do like tons of research, but I did a little bit of research just to get the gist of the story, right? This young black man gets pulled over, okay, for reckless driving. There's no video before to see like what exactly he did that even made the police pull him over. Like did he blow a stop sign? Was he speeding? I don't know. That part of the story, I don't know. All I know is he got pulled over, he got out of the car, and right away, when he got out of the car, the police are being extremely aggressive towards him. They rip him out of the car, they throw him to the ground, and he's yelling, whoa, 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 like what's going on? He's not resisting, he's not fighting, and he's like, hold on, like what's going on, right? Then they start tasing him, beating the shit out of him, and he's yelling for his mom. It's heartbreaking to watch this, okay? It's horrible, horrible. He's screaming for his mom. He was like a block or so away from his house when this all happened, right? And he ends up losing his life because of this, okay? He's being kicked while he's down on the ground. At one point, he tries to get up and run, which, like, when I read the article originally, because I Googled his name, I was like, well, he ran from the police. Like, what did he expect? But then when I watched the video, I was like, he ran for the police because he was running for his life. He was getting his ass kicked. So he got up. He knew he was in danger and he got up and started running because he knew that it was where shit was heading. Okay. So once he ran and they tackled him to the ground, that's when they really started beating on him. And it's really hard to watch. It's difficult to watch. Okay. Mallory's trying to compare what she went through, right? She has a whole chat filled with her fucking Karens in her chat. And yesterday, she's rallying the whole chat up to fill out this complaint form against this female officer all over a comment, dude. Oh, he had Crohn's disease. Yeah, that's dude, the man was not fighting like at all. Like you could hear him going like, what's going on? Like he doesn't even understand what's going on in the video. He's not resisting, he's not fighting, and he's just asking them what's going on. Okay? And to hear a grown man crying for his mother, it's bad. And it's like really sad. That police department is dealing with enough shit. Now, I'm not saying don't be hard on that police department. They deserve all the fucking shit that they're getting right now. Okay. But, Mallory trying to make her story the next fucking Tyree Nichols story. Not happening, Mallory. Not happening, girl. So she has this chat filled with all the fucking idiots, right? And she's encouraging them to basically inundate I can never say that word right. Inundate the police office with these reports about how she was treated as a trans woman, how she was disrespected as a trans woman, not only against the one female officer, which I find really weird, you know. She pinpointed the female officer all because the female officer made the mistake of maybe just thinking out loud and saying, "Sir, ma'am," right? So she's trying to act like I'm doing this for all trans people in Tennessee, and get the fuck out of here, Mallory. You're doing this for attention. You're doing it because you got an audience full of people hyping you up, and you're just an attention whore. You're enjoying the attention that you're getting it, because in between your speeches that you're making and all this shit, you're like, oh, donate to the channel. It's how we keep up and running. It's how I'm able to travel to all these places. And it's like, girl, just buy. Bullshit. Bullshit. Mallory, let me tell you something. If you go watch the full video when she gets in her car, right? She is not bothered at all by this situation. Okay? So if you were so hurt as a transgender woman, you would have been like in your car crying and shook from this situation. But the first thing she says when she gets in her car, holy shit, holy shit, who does the best content here? Who has the best content, folks? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Does that sound like somebody who's like upset because they were treated wrong by the police? No. She's full of shit, okay? I don't buy it. And I'm like, you know what, Mallory, instead of showing us and the whole community that you represent, supposedly, allegedly, right? That, what whiny crybabies do because their feelings were hurt by somebody who misgendered them, okay? Why don't you hold your fucking head high and say, you know what? I'm going to fucking show how strong I am. I'm going to move on, and I'm just going to go on with my life. And fuck that female officer. She's ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you just do that over a little comment? You're showing everybody what a whiny crybaby you are over a little comment that hurt your fifis, okay? Which, I'm sorry, the police have every right to question your gender. And if you don't agree, especially when you're walking around on a children's fucking hospital that you're not supposed to be on, I'm sorry, but they have every right to question your gender. Maybe you don't like the way she asked the question, okay, or said it, but they have a right to know who you are and what you're fucking doing there. So part of identifying you, if they can't tell what you are, then they're going to fucking ask what you are. So, you know what? Deal with it. Deal with it. That doesn't mean, she's accusing this cop now of being a transphobic, trans hater, trans basher, trans everything, negative. And it's like, no, girl, that's not the case. Okay. She's a cop who is in a department right now that's under a microscope, okay, under fire. And it's high tensions in that area right now. And here you are acting a damn fool on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, but if you know what, if you're gonna get that butthurt over people questioning your gender, then maybe you shouldn't be what you are. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sorry, that's just I feel like that's just gonna come along with the territory, unfortunately, with the choice that you made in your life, people questioning it. I mean, just because you look in the mirror and you see something, that doesn't mean that that's what everybody else is seeing. Okay. So I'm sorry. And you feel a certain way. You can't expect the rest of the world to see and feel what you're feeling, especially nowadays when, again, this is new to a lot of people. A lot of people. I don't know anybody like that in my personal life. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I have to walk on eggshells all the time with these issues because I don't know if I'm going to say the wrong thing and hurt somebody's feelings. It's like our whole society as a whole, we're becoming a bunch of pussies who can't handle anything anymore. It's like, oh my God, I'm being questioned. Oh, let me inundate the fucking police department with a million reports. Okay. Cause they don't have more important shit to do right now. You're turning this into a bigger issue than it actually is, Mallory, and you should be embarrassed for what you're doing right now, honestly. And I'm not saying that these things don't exist in the world, that there's not people out there who are disgusting towards these folks, you know. I'm not saying that at all. I know that there's people out there who are horrible to these people, and the hatred exists, and I understand. But what you're trying to twist into like this situation into, it's not what it is. And anybody with half a brain sees what's going on, you know, knowing Mallory's history, knowing how hard up she is for cash and attention. We all know what it is. We all know what it is. Exactly. She should have stopped and showed ID instead of kept walking. Mm. If I did not know she was trans, some would think man dressing up as woman or drag queen. Right. Her ID would have helped them. No. Exactly. Because see, that's the thing. Just because you look like a woman, okay? Just because you look like a woman doesn't mean you are one, okay? Nowadays. And that's reality. And that's because of people that like her, okay? That people have to even question. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, nobody had to fucking question that shit. But because of people like her, now we have to question. And the police need to question for everybody else's safety. That's why. And for your safety. They have to question it. Because God forbid if you did something, you broke the law, they need to know where they're putting you for your safety. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and not every single person that's dressed up in the opposite sex's clothing is the transgender person. But Mallory wanted to be spoke to a certain way. You know, she has this fucking sense of entitlement that the police officer should have asked her nicely. And it's like, okay, Mallory, you know what? I'll give you. Maybe the police officer was wrong in the way she said it, sir and madame, in the moment. But like the way what you've turned it into is so much worse than it really was. Okay. Maybe she just spoke out loud in the heat of the moment and said it the wrong way. You know, give her a fucking pass. Instead, you're making a big thing about it. You're going to harass the police department and have all the idiots in your chat harass the police department for you because your fifis were hurt, because you weren't spoken to the way you wanted to be. Guess what? When the police pull me over, anytime in my life, do you think they talk to me respectfully? Nope. Like that's the police, girl. That's how police are. Get with it. Like, you know, what do you expect? You expect everybody to kiss your fucking ass in this world? Because, like, I don't know, man. You're gonna have a hard time in life if you expect that everybody in this world is gonna be kind and accepting of you. You know, because that's just not reality. It's not reality. Mallory set the whole tone of what happened. She absolutely did. When she walked up and they started questioning her, and she said, I'm going to keep walking. I'm not talking. Well, you know what? You made the police think that you were up to something suspicious when you did that. And so that you deserved to be talked to. Then she starts adding in extra details like, oh, I was manhandled. Really, girl? When? When did this happen? Oh, they were bucking me. That didn't happen. You're a fucking liar, Mallory. You're just doing this for attention. You don't care about trans issues. And I'm going to tell you guys why. I know this for a fact. Mallory cares about Mallory issues. She doesn't care about transgender issues. She cares about Mallory issues. That's what she cares about. She doesn't care about the community as a whole. Yeah, she blew it out of proportion, 100%. St. Jude is not a tourist destination, and I don't care if she has the full SRS. I don't care either. I don't care. Nobody knows that by just looking at you, Mallory. I'm sorry, you know? Nobody knows by just looking at you what pronouns you prefer. You know? Maybe the cop didn't ask the question in the way you liked it. Okay, and she probably could have been nicer about it. But for you to make this big of a fucking deal about it, and you know what? I feel like, and I don't know, I can't speak for that community, okay, because I'm not part of it. But just speaking as a human, I'm looking at her and I'm like, you know what? I feel like the community would be embarrassed the way that you're acting about this. And you know, there might be some drama queens in there with you that are, you know, Karens and feel the same way. But you know what, Mallory? You want to be you're a woman, put your big girl panties on and learn how to deal with shit. Okay? Learn how to deal with disrespect. Because that's how us women deal with that shit. You know, I would never let a comment like that bother me to that fucking point that I'm going to have people write into the fucking police office. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, do you know how many times I was spoken to disrespectfully by a police officer? And you know what I say? I drive away and I'm like, that police officer was a dick. Like that police officer fucking thinks who the fuck they are. They're on a power trip. They fucking move on with my life. I don't sit there fucking crying about it, coming on YouTube. Everybody write to the police department. They talk to me like big meanie poopy heads. Grow the fuck up, Mallory. Grow the fuck up, dude. If I fucking had you guys write letters to everybody that talked disrespectfully to me in my life, forget it. You know what I'm saying? Like you people would never stop fucking writing letters. You know how many men talk disrespectfully to women out in the real world? Okay? How many times guys say nasty shit to you and hit on you and fucking whistle at you? I mean, come on. You gotta, if you're a woman, then you gotta learn how to deal with shit like a woman, Mallory. Seriously. You're a woman now, you need to learn how to fucking deal with shit like a real fucking woman. Because that's not how real women fucking deal with their problems. Some do, but real women don't. Okay? Fucking baby. She had no business lurking around a children's hospital anyway. That's right. She acts like they came up to her on the fucking street and just started harassing her for no reason. You're on private property. You're somewhere that you're not supposed to be. You had a fucking funky, weird story to begin with that didn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. You don't have your COVID card. There's a million factors that played into Mallory, but somehow she made herself the victim in this situation. She turned it all around and now she's just going to milk the fuck out of it. Milk the fuck out of it. And you know what? I have no problem if she wants to sit up on her fucking YouTube channel and cry about it and whine and talk about what a victim she is because somebody spoke to her a little off and questioned who she was. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that her community is fighting for rights right now. I get it. But guess what? Women had to fight for rights 2 years ago. Women had to fight for the rights to vote and all this shit. We had to fight. We fucking laid the groundwork for you, Mallory. Okay? The real women fucking laid the groundwork for you so that you could have rights in this world. And so, you know what? I understand you're fighting and I understand you want to be accepted and all that shit. But you're going about it in completely the fucking wrong way. Being a whiny crybaby bitch is not how you get your way. Apparently it is these days, but where I come from, that's not how you fucking get your way. It's not how you get people to listen. Just don't tell us we didn't see what we saw. Exactly. Don't fucking gaslight us. Not to mention she was wearing that crazy ass wig. I mean, she can't even admit that her fucking ballet flats were just that. She's even lying about the shoes that she was wearing. She's like, those were boots with a zipper on them. Girl, bye. Like, you're talking to a chat filled with women who know shoes, who knows that was like a Mary Jane ballet flat type of shoe. Thank you, Anonymous. Hold on a second. Like who are you trying to fool over here, girl? Who are you trying to fool over here? Come on. I'm a bit behind, but wanted to say thanks for talking about this. I have many trans friends through a trans family member. Trans people deserve kindness and understanding. Bad behavior is another story. Exactly. That doesn't give you a fucking pass, okay? Being trans doesn't give you a pass to break the law, okay? Go trespass on private property. Like in that situation, you were the wrong person first, okay? So for you to expect that the police are going to treat you with any kind of kindness, because whenever they see somebody breaking the law, I told you guys this the other day. When I got arrested back in 2003 for DWI, I was treated just like every other piece of shit that was in I'm sorry. I don't want to call people pieces of shit because I didn't know them, but I was treated like a piece of shit just like everybody else was that night. Okay. Normally I was a law abiding citizen. I abide by the law. 90% of my life, 99% of my life, I broke the law that night. So I was treated just like everybody else who breaks the law, just like people who break the law constantly. Okay. Because when you get down there, they don't know you. They don't know who you are. They don't know what kind of person you are. And they don't give a fuck. And guess what? The whole time I went through that, from the point that I got arrested, then I had to go see the judge. I was treated the same fucking way. Even when I had to go do community service, you're treated the same fucking way all the way through. There was a mom when I was doing community service who was like a legit typical soccer mom. Okay. Legit typical soccer mom. She went out for happy hour with her friends after work, had a glass of wine, got pulled over. This woman was like your average soccer mom that she was not breaking any types of laws, and they treated her the same way. You just could look at her and you knew this woman don't break the law. She's like a classy, minivan driving mom, like that takes care of her kids and does everything she can for her kids. And they treated her the same way. It doesn't matter who you are. They don't care. Once you're breaking the law, all your fucking, shit goes out the window. I'm not saying that police shouldn't be respectful to you, but just like anywhere else in life, you're going to meet different types of people. There's going to be some cops that are really respectful and some cops are on a fucking power trip. And you just got to just know that and just be lucky that you walked away from the situation with no tickets, nothing else, and move on with your fucking day, Mallory. I mean, come on. Fucking baby. Big fucking crybaby. Big fucking crybaby about this whole situation, blowing it up into something that it just isn't, dude. You are not a victim in this situation, Mallory, as much as you want to try to bend it to make everybody believe you are. I was getting like infuriated listening to her the other day. Infuriated, because and the only reason why was, besides the fact that she was lying and gaslighting and twisting things, the main reason I was getting infuriated was because she was prompting her chat to go fill out these bullshit forms and send links and to like harass the police department, basically, because I guess she got a kick out of her buddies, MGL and Betty Bullhorn, who got a girl fired from her job. Yes, in case you didn't hear the update, that girl from the Ashley Furniture Store, she was fired from her job over those two fucking idiots. So I guess she wanted to jump on the let me ruin somebody's fucking life over the most, benign, mundane situation. And let me get them fired from the job. Let me make an example of somebody. Like, what is wrong with these people? What you want to talk about a power trip? These motherfuckers are on a power trip. They really are. All of them. So she thinks that one comment is worth getting this woman fired, putting her through an internal investigation in her police department over a little fucking comment to you, you sensitive motherfucker. Really? Get out of here. Yes, Mallory is a follower. Mm-hmm. Imagine wanting to become a woman and you end up being a coward. Yeah, I can't imagine it. I just can't. Like, to me, you're embarrassing your community acting the way that you're acting, Mallory. You are an embarrassment to that community acting the way you're acting over this shit. I just like, I can't believe it. I can't believe the way that you're treating this. Yeah, Beth, she got fired. She got fired. I learned in Queen Bee's chat. Exactly, Black Eagle. She's following the money. It's exactly what she's doing. I learned in Queen Bee's chat the other night, she got fired from her job. I don't know if she has any legal recourse because here's the problem. Pennsylvania is a work at will state, meaning that your boss can fire you for any reason. They don't even need a reason. They could just be like, "Oh, I don't like your fucking hair. You're fired." Like that. That's what it is. So, um, she didn't get into details about why she was fired, but the only way that you could really have like a case is if you were under a specific contract and then there was like terms within that contract. But here's the other part, okay? When you get fired from your job, um it's harder to get unemployment, right? So which is, these people don't care. They could have stopped this from happening. They could have called the store up and said, "You know what? I don't want to see this girl lose her job," or whatever. They don't give a fuck. But anyway, so when you get unemployment and you get fired, unemployment's there for layoffs, right? For when there's a lack of work. But you can get it in some instances when you're fired. And that's like if you don't have like the skill or something like that for the job, right? So like in other words, they hired you and then ended up figuring out, okay, this person's not really skilled enough or whatever it is, like lacking the ability to do the job. But if you get fired for like misconduct, you're not getting unemployment. So I don't know. Like, I don't know the exact reason that they gave her why they fired her, but obviously it probably has something to do with the situation. So she might not even be able to get unemployment, which really sucks. But do you think these fucking people care? Nope. They don't give a shit. They don't care because you know why? It doesn't affect their lives. It doesn't affect their lives. So they don't give a shit if these people got fired. EDM, who was fired? So they went into Betty Bullhorn and Molly Golightly went into this Ashley furniture store the other day. Okay. They started to harass this girl who already was on the phone and already tried to resolve the situation on the phone, right? They show up like an hour later at the store. They turn their cameras on and they get the girl to like a heightened state, right, where she's angry, and then all of a sudden they turn the cameras on and they start acting all calm. They start acting like the victims. So the girl's now asking them to leave the store several times. They're not leaving the store. They're standing there filming her. They're getting her more and more aggravated. And then she ends up getting suspended without pay, and then the next day she gets fired. Or a couple of days later, she ends up getting fired. Has Mallory had her ID changed to female? I thought she said she had, but I'm not sure. Yeah, she said she has. So I'll take her word for it, if that's the case. Hey, Navy, I bet she will not get unemployment because she started to walk around the counter and the man stopped her. That looked bad. I can never work with the public. Yeah, same here, Beth. Same here. So I guess now Mallory wants to jump on the, let me get somebody fired, train, because like I'm a miserable motherfucker in this world, right? And I don't know how to get over things and fucking move on with my life. So I'll just fucking get somebody else fired to make them feel I'm vindictive. I have to make people feel the way I feel. So let me fuck with this person's livelihood, so that they feel what I feel. I'm going to make an example of this person. Fucking asshole. Some stranger who like really didn't do anything to you. Sure, you could make it sound as important as you want, but let's be real, girl, you're blowing it way out of proportion. Okay. And please, like, if anybody in here is transgender or has a relative, like, please let me know if I'm wrong. This is my point of view. I don't know if other people, and you don't have to agree with me. I would love to know if other people feel differently. I know at least one person does, that emailed me, and that's fine. I just let them know that, in the email, they said a couple of things I was a little taken back by because I'm like, don't include me in on what you're upset about because the things you're saying are not things that I personally did. But, you know, whatever, it is what it is. But I appreciate your opinion. Mallory is a vindictive ass. Yeah, she certainly is. Hold on, let me see if she still has that stream up. She's milking the shit out of the whole situation. And I only listened for like, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes yesterday. And then I just got so fed up and infuriated listening to it that I just had to turn it off because I was just like, she is really, really going above and beyond. And like, I almost don't even want to play her shit because I feel like it's just giving more fuel to her fire. She's loving the attention, good or bad. Like, look at her page right now. So I can show you guys how much she's milking the situation. I typically don't watch her. Yeah, exactly. She made it about transgender, not about MPD. Like all the other shit that happened, she's like, don't report that. Just report this. Because she uses, that's what I'm saying, dude. You're using your choice in life, right? First of all, you're expecting everybody to understand your choices in life, which isn't always the case. But you're using that as a weapon against people, right? You're using it, you're weaponizing it against people, and you're holding people to standards that just, I'm sorry, I think are ridiculous. At this point in time, maybe 50 years from now, when, this is a more accepted, widely accepted thing, maybe then I'll have a different opinion, but right now I feel like, this is a relatively new thing. Some people don't understand it, some people do. You know what I'm saying? Some people have religious beliefs. Like there's people from all over, all different walks of life and feel different ways about it. So I'm not here to censor my chat. Obviously I don't mind if you share your opinion. Just do so respectfully. That's all I ask about this, topic. I know it's it's a sensitive topic, okay? But I think it's also important to educate people about it and to educate people about like what's transphobic and what's not. In my opinion, you know, make your own opinion, but in my opinion, I don't find somebody questioning your identity as transphobic. I'm sorry, I just don't. You know, that's just how I feel. It is. Sorry. All right. So she has let's look at her page real quick and like see how bad. Cloner sir was bad, then so was ma'am. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know, the woman made a mistake. Maybe she didn't phrase it the right way. Okay. She said, sir, ma'am, whatever you are. That's what she's upset about. That's what she's upset about. Sir, ma'am, whatever you are. Okay, that's what she's upset about. Okay, so maybe it wasn't said the right way, but why can't you just look at that person and be like, you know what, that fucking person's ignorant, and then move on, move on. You know, but at that point, she doesn't know if you're a fully transitioned, you know, you're fully transitioned. She doesn't know that. There's no way you could know that by looking at somebody. I don't know. I didn't know until Mallory said, okay, it's on her you know, license. But I didn't know just because you're dressed like something. So if I go dress up like a banana, does that mean I'm a banana? You know, like like nobody could tell, you know, or if I go to the store and I go get a cowboy costume, am I a cowboy now? You know what I'm saying? Like nobody could tell what's under my clothes, in other words. So, you know, they have to question, you know, for your own safety, they have to question it. Maybe she didn't question it the right way. Maybe she didn't handle it the right way, but you're just making this a way bigger thing than it actually is. You know, like she needs to learn how to deal with trans people and this and that. And like, no offense to Mallory, I don't think that the trans community as a whole is going around causing problems with the police. So I don't think that the police need that type of training necessarily. Okay. Like how to deal with them because I think the majority of the community is not doing fucking illegal shit, you know? So you know, maybe she approached it the wrong way. I'll give you that, but you know, I just don't think it's as big a deal as you're making it out to be. I really just don't. So she says, transgender woman reviews the video of her transphobic encounter with a Memphis police officer. Okay. Memphis cops get transphobic with trans woman. And you notice like all these buzzwords that she's using so that she could get hits on these videos because that's what this is ultimately all about. See, now I feel if you were really that upset about this situation, you wouldn't exploit it the way you're exploiting it. But you know, maybe not. I don't know. So, which one was the one I was watching yesterday? Hold on a second. You know, but here's the thing, right? Molly Golightly goes live and she reviews this. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cece. That's because Mallory refused to give her a license at first, so they didn't know who or what or where her name was. Exactly, Cece. That's the most important part. When the police ask you to identify yourself, and I watch a lot of like the body cam footage, right? The body cam videos that they have. There's like a whole channel that just has body cam videos. And more often than not, when you refuse to identify yourself, that is what escalates the situation with the police. Like I can't tell you how many videos I've watched where people refuse to identify themselves when the police stop them. And that's what starts escalating the situation to like another level. How hard is it to identify yourself? Why can't you identify yourself? Like I've never understood this that people fight the police when it comes to identifying who they are. If you have nothing to hide, then you should have no problem identifying yourself to the police. You know, I don't get these people that are always trying to like hide their identity from the police. Like just show the police your identity and then like you could probably resolve 90% of the problem out there with the police. Can I ask a question? What was up with her? Fave, my son said a mask. Her face. I don't know. I don't know what's up with her. I don't think she has a mask on. I think she just has a lot of makeup on. Hold on a second. All right, Slaying Dragons. This is from today, so it had to be this one. So take a look at the very beginning. I don't, you know what? I don't know exactly because she was already live when I came into her chat. So let me go a little bit ahead and see if I could recognize where I kind of started listening yesterday to this.
Christ, the handles they just can't handle it.
The fucking bird nest on her head just took me out yesterday. It took me all the fucking the way out. Like I literally was like, is there little like chickadees in there? Like what's going on, Mallory?
Oh my God, from my shoes to my fucking curtains, they can't handle it.
Okay, I think this is around probably where I started watching yesterday.
The bitches, they just can't. They can't.
Oh my God, is she wearing like one of those like Molly Go Lightly bib necklaces, or is that the shadow from her cup? I can't tell. It's kind of blurry right now.
Oh Jesus Christ, they can't handle it.
Yeah, we can't handle it, Mallory. Are you sure it's us who can't handle? Oh no, I'm sorry. She has the donut necklace on. Like, are you sure it's us who can't handle things, or it's you who can't handle things? Because the majority of the people on YouTube are laughing at what a clown you are and calling you a clown, right? And then you're the one who can't handle it. You're the one who for 3 days now has been crying about this fucking comment that was made to you and making all these videos and having people contact the police office with complaints for you because you can't handle your own, girl. You can't handle your own. They don't need 900 complaints from people. They need just one. Just one complaint. You know what's going to happen with the rest of those complaints? They're going to go right in the paper shredder because the cops are going to be like, "Really?" This because as soon as they see the first one and they see that that's your problem, they're going to laugh and it's going to go right in the paper shredder because it's ridiculous. They have bigger problems right now, this police department, than you. Somebody died on their watch, okay? So ridiculous.
Holy shit, people. What are you going to do?
The fact that she even thinks that this police department is going to take this seriously right now, given what they're dealing with, is like hilarious just in and of itself. It's like, really, Mallory, you really think that this is like gonna have like anything's gonna come of this for you? You know, and you know what's sick? I feel like the only reason she would do something like this is because like she would like to sue the fucking police department just to get money. That's what I'm saying. The way she fucking uses her transgenderness, okay, however you want to say it, the way she uses it as a weapon, as a tool to get what she wants is really fucking sick, dude. It's sick. She uses it very manipulatively. And then when you have Molly Golightly, who was sitting there cracking up about the whole thing the other day, like it was a big fucking joke, okay? And who says, you know, according to Mallory, you know, her logic at least, transphobic things all the time. You don't have a problem with that. You only have a problem. Oh shit, sorry. You only have a problem when it's against you. But you don't obviously care about other trans people because if you did, you would be offended that your friend Molly Golightly was trying to insult a woman here by calling her transgender, by calling her RuPaul. So, and you don't care, clearly. So you only care about transgender issues when they affect you personally. I see how it is.
Join my.
And that's the difference between like Mallory or somebody like John Crimes who actually has integrity, because John speaks on all racial issues. When John sees a racial issue, John speaks on it, okay? Even if it doesn't affect him personally. But Mallory is the very opposite of that. Mallory only speaks on trans issues when it's her personal trans issue. When it's other people's, she could give two fucks less about it. So it tells me she doesn't care about her community. She only cares about herself.
My TikTok. You know you're a hated bitch. Wait, listen. When let me just do you one better. Not the shoes. From your shoelaces. From your shoelaces to your fucking, not your curtains, but your curtain fucking rod.
Yeah, where is your curtain rod, actually? I'm just looking at it now. She's pointing it out. Where is it? I don't give a shit about her curtains, in all honesty.
Holy shit, people. To your curtain fucking rod. Holy shit. These fucking haters are on full patrol.
All right, let me go a little bit more ahead just because this is not where...
What kind of fucking weirdo sits there talking about Jesus Christ?
Because she'll go
I've had my share of flop hotels and those...
Yeah, the funniest thing is she was bragging about like being in a 4-star hotel last night, like yesterday, and I'm like, All right, girl. I don't know. I saw the one video she posted, and I was like, that don't look like any fucking four-star hotels I've ever fucking stayed in. But okay. Like,
Those curtains, they're fucking, they're
right.
stapled to the wall. They don't move.
We don't need to hear about our curtains. I don't give a shit about that.
Better than she served me that day.
Okay. Here's where she starts talking about this.
Those younger trans gals that come up.
Hold on.
Not me that I worry for. I've said that.
She always has to keep saying this throughout this live. It's not me that I'm worried for, but it is you. It is you. If it was everybody else, you would fucking care about other issues. I don't see her caring about any other or even discussing any other trans issues on her channel. Then again, I don't watch her all that much, but if you just go to her lives and you watch her, look at her titles, you could tell that she's not talking about these issues that are supposedly so important to her.
Of all the hate that comes my way, all of the brutal things that are thrown my way, the most disgusting and vile things that are said my way.
Look, I'm not saying that Mallory doesn't receive hate, okay? Because I've seen it myself. I've seen people leave some pretty offensive comments towards Mallory on here about her being trans. Here's the thing. I don't care what gender Mallory is or isn't. It doesn't fucking matter to me. It's her behavior that bothers me. I don't care. I totally accept that she's a woman, You know, Mallory's a woman. In my eyes, I look at her since I've known her that she's a woman, and I accept that. I respect it. And you know, and I just it doesn't even play a role though in anything. It only plays a role when she makes it an issue, you know? She baits people a lot of the times. Do I think she baited in that situation? No, not necessarily, but in a sense, after the fact, she kind of baited. She kept baiting after that. You know, once a comment was made, then she kind of kept baiting and arguing about it and making that the issue because she was trying to get out of trouble. She was trying to get out of what she was doing wrong and turn it around on the cops that, oh my God, you are trans haters. You know what I'm saying? Because instead of dealing with the real issue which is why are you here? Doesn't matter what you are, doesn't matter who you are. Why are you here? You're on private property. That was the issue. But she tried to turn it around and make it into like, oh my God, do you think the police are new to this? You know, do you think that that's something that doesn't happen to them probably 100 times on a daily basis where, you know, they pull over criminals and then, you know, the criminals try to turn it around on them and make it an issue about them and not the real issue, you know, like somebody doing drugs or stealing something from a store. People do it all the time. I watch the body cam footage and they do it all the time. You know, they try to turn it into an issue of like, oh, well, you're talking to me in a certain way. It's a kind of normal response in some situations for people to do to get out of trouble. But, you know, that's what was going on here with her.
I've always said, I'm a very confident woman. I know who I am as a trans person.
Okay, well, if you were that confident, then why are you so goddamn offended by this comment then? Because I just don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. You seem very sensitive about it, in fact. You know, you seem very sensitive about it because when somebody is questioning you, instead of being confident and knowing who you are, you got so offended that somebody questioned you.
I've had an entire team of professionals sign off on me. Like, there's nothing anybody here can.
I don't know what that means. This is where I started watching yesterday. She said, I remember hearing this yesterday and thinking, like, what does that mean, Mallory? Could you get any more vague? You've had an entire team of professionals. Or are you talking about doctors? Are you talking about psychologists? Who are these professionals that? And what does that mean? They signed off on you? That's the most vague statement ever.
Say to sway me or make me second guess who I am, right? Or what I'm about.
Is anybody trying to make her second guess who she is, though? Is that really happening? Or is that just what's in her head when people question her?
So, but I always am concerned for those other trans women, you know, those younger trans gals that come up under and behind me, right? Those are the ones, like my girl Gina, she's significantly younger than I am. So
I don't know who that is. I don't know who she's referring to right now.
So listen, I worry for her coming up through, right? I worry for people coming up that under her. She's got a whole young little crowd of transgender boys and girls coming up under her that look up to her. So I'm always concerned.
Right, Mallory. So you should lead by example. Lead by example. Show people that, you know what, in the face of adversity, I'm going to be the stronger one. I'm going to be the better person. I'm going to be the bigger person. And I'm just going to educate. I'm going to use this as a tool to educate, and then I'm going to leave it there and fucking move on with my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of, harassing this woman and trying to get her fired, use it as an example, teach people the right way to talk to trans people, and then fucking move on with your life. You're not doing that, though. Unbelievable.
For those people and their families. And the last thing I want for them is to encounter an Officer Taylor out there on those streets.
You know what, Mallory? Here's the problem, okay? This is the same problem that Laura has, that Molly Golightly has, and that Betty has, okay? I don't know why these women in their 50s, okay, late 40s and 50s, still don't understand that they cannot control other people. Like, I don't understand why they still don't fucking understand this. That you cannot control, excuse me, society. You can't control the internet. You could control your kids, excuse me, but not everybody else in the world. So it's you have to learn how to deal with things, okay? Because that's the only thing you can control is yourself. That's the only thing you're able to control is yourself and how you deal with things. But you can't control how other people act. So no matter how hard you try, you're never going to be able to control the world. You're never going to make everybody in the world accept, your lifestyle. That's not going to happen. So what you have to do is you have to adapt to it and figure out a way for you to get through these situations. This isn't the way, in my opinion.
Right? Officer Taylor needs to be re-educated. She needs to be retrained. She needs to be able to be.
I am with you. Is that break the silence? Break the silence, the old one or a new one? Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, you need to. The sick children, definitely more important. Way more important.
A position and a mindset.
Oop, what happened?
Far better than she served me that day. It was so out of sorts, so out of hand. It was so personal. You could tell she was coming from such a personal place. She was unable.
Okay, this is the way that Mallory's interpreting this. And you know what? Let's just say Mallory's right, and this woman has something against transgender people. You don't know what has happened in this woman's life that made her feel that way. Maybe she had a bad encounter as a police officer at some point in time, or maybe just in her personal life with a transgender person, okay? And maybe that's why she feels the way she did, but I don't believe that. I don't believe you're talking about, I'm sorry, but this is a Black woman that she's talking about. This police officer is a Black woman who is a police officer. If you don't think that Black woman who is a police officer is facing the same amount, if not more, adversity than you do, Mallory, you're out of your fucking mind, okay? If you don't think that a Black woman who's a police officer is oppressed in the same way that you are, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. Okay, because any of my Black girlfriends, I had my friend up here that one time, you guys remember, she spit some truth to us that day. So you're taking another minority, I guess, right, in that situation, and you're trying to tell her what adversity is, Mallory. She knows. She's well aware of it. She's a woman, she's a Black woman, and she's in a police department where she's outnumbered by men. So you don't think that she faces adversity? I have a girlfriend who's a police officer, and she's a white woman, okay, in a police department. And she gets shit all the fucking time. All the time. okay? Because she's outnumbered by men. So give me a fucking break over here. Like, you don't understand what this woman knows what the struggle is like to be a minority, and be a female. I mean, come on, dude.
To put her personal positions against trans people aside and handle somebody give them the dignity and respect as a trans person that they deserved, that I deserved, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, that I deserved. You see that? You see how she changed they to I? Because that's really what it's about. It's about me. It's about me. The fact that she even expects the police to talk respectfully to her, like when I get pulled over by a police officer, not that I'm getting pulled over all the time. It sounds like I am when I'm saying this, but I've been pulled over, a number of times in my life, whether it was because I was speeding or one time because I had tinted windows and the cop was a total fucking asshole in that situation. You would have thought I killed somebody because my windows were tinted. Like I actually drive away more often than not. I got pulled over a couple of months ago because I was pulling out of a parking lot and I didn't have my seatbelt. I didn't click my seatbelt on yet, and the cop was right there and he pulled me over. Okay, and the cop was when I drove away, I was like, wow, you know what? I was actually shocked at how respectful the cop was towards me, because 9 out of 10 times I'm expecting the police officer to be a dick. I mean, I just am. I'm just being honest with you, and I understand why they're assholes is because they're dealing with this 90% of the time. They're dealing with the fucking absolute scum of the earth. Not always are they pulling over law-abiding citizens. Most of the time, they're going to calls where people are being violent, people are being fucking assholes. So like, I don't expect police to come and approach me with, hi, how are you? You know what I'm saying? Because 9 out of 10 times they're dealing with shitty people. So it's a job, it's a fucking thankless job, honestly, and one that I wouldn't want to have. So I don't expect police to always be cheery and chipper and fucking nice with me all the time, because they have a fucking extremely hard job for what they do. And like, they don't get enough credit, honestly, for what they do and how they risk their lives every fucking morning when they put that uniform on and they get into work. Their lives are at risk. So that just in and of itself is high stress. I mean, do you have any respect for what these people do for a living, Mallory, or no? It's all about you, right? Okay. Like, I understand it too. I understand it when a cop's an asshole. I'm like, you know what? That guy was a dick, but I would probably be a dick too if I was in his shoes. Like, that's how I try to look at it. And I'm not saying there's not like really, really shitty cops, because there is, just like there is with any other part of life. There's good people and there's shitty people. And it is what it is.
Regardless of the fact that I had driven myself up onto a hospital property where it turned out that I should have had pre-authorization to be there, unbeknownst to me. Thank you.
Unbeknownst to you? You mean unbeknownst to you? Unbeknownst? Not unbeknownst.
For the $1.50 super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Regardless of that, people take wrong turns all the time.
Girl, that was not a wrong turn. Now you're gonna act like you just fucking accidentally ended up at St. Jude's Hospital that day? No.
What if it was just somebody who just walked up there through a side entrance, not a side entrance, but through the bushes? Or
they would probably do the same thing that they did to you then, Mallory. They would do the same exact fucking thing. They would be like, oh, what is this person randomly, walking around for? Let's go find out.
Whatever. That place is...
So she's like acting like they only came to her because it was her.
It's not completely cased in fences. I wanted to let you know. Just because it's got a gate does...
Okay, it's not completely fenced in because they have to have a way for people that belong there to come in and out.
Doesn't mean it's surrounded. Like I said, it's not Area 51 people. Right?
I think so too.
You could easily...
Profile manipulation, I think so too. I think they were very patient with her. I don't think they were aggressive like she's trying to paint it out to be. I don't think they were anything but patient with her. trying to get answers from her, and she just kept arguing. She kept not gaslighting. She kept like trying to change the subject all the time. Every time they were questioning her, she was being like rhetorical with them, asking them a question. And it's like, just answer their fucking questions. If you would have just answered their questions the way that you should have, the whole thing could have went completely differently, and could have been over much quicker. But you were refusing to answer their questions, and you were turning it around and making it about things that it wasn't, and asking them questions when they're the ones questioning you. So it's like, that's why I compared it to the whole Dunkin' Donuts situation with Tiffany, because Tiffany escalated that situation to the point that it got to. It didn't have to get to that point where the cops were even called. She made that whole situation into what it is. And it's the same thing here with Mallory.
If you were walking, you could easily stroll onto that property in a number of places. So what if it was just somebody who strolled onto that property, just not realizing, listen.
Dude, if somebody's walking around that fucking lost, like, then they should be questioned. Sorry. If you don't know where you're going, you should be questioned.
People sway on different places where they maybe not should be. Or listen, people, nobody wants to encounter an Officer Taylor. And
here we go.
So what we're gonna do.
So in all fairness here, right? Officer Taylor, if she wanted to, she could have turned this around and been like, "Oh, you're racist. You're racist against black cops." You know what I'm saying? She could have done that, but she didn't do that. Why? Because she handled it professionally. That's why. She could have turned around and did the same thing that Mallory's doing right now, right? But she didn't do that.
Today, as I told Officer Taylor that day, in fact, I almost promised her, you will remember me in a sense. You will know who I am. You will. This is not going to go unchecked, Officer Taylor. This, between you and I, is not going to go unchecked. Of all things,
I was just thinking this. How do you know that Officer Taylor isn't like? I'm just putting this out there, right? I don't know what she is, but I'm just saying. How do you know Officer Taylor herself isn't a gay woman, right? How do you know that? Who's part of your community? You don't know that. You don't know that. So how did you get the idea that she hates trans people? You don't even know what her situation is in life when it comes to that. Wow.
And I wanted to take a few days. I didn't want to just wait hot and heavy and start firing off emails and complaints, right? There's a difference between an official complaint and email, by the way.
She threatened a cop.
Right? Or a phone call. You always want to do this in writing, people. Phone calls are like hot air. You get somebody on the phone and it's just a phone call. Yeah, hang up. It's gone. It's gone forever. See, actual complaints, right? These are things that will be attached to people's files, and these are things that will get attention to the chief of police.
Okay, I just have to say something. Knowing people that work in police departments, okay? Do you think that Mallory's complaint against the officer is the only complaint lodged against her? Like, it's gonna stand out? Do you know how many complaints every officer probably has written against them from a bunch, the Karens that they fucking deal with all day, every day? You think that Mallory's one complaint is really going to stand out? No, I'm sure she has millions of complaints, because anybody could file a complaint against an officer if they dealt with them. So, yeah, she's fucking unbelievable.
And these are things that will follow people's career, so that when other problems arise in the future, you can have
I want to know what Mallory would have done if she would have gotten actually arrested and brought into the jail, because, girl, that's a whole different fucking animal that you're dealing with. Once you walk into that jail, once you get booked and you walk into that jail, you think that the police out here are fucking mean? Okay, girl.
A behavior pattern set up. And then if Miss Officer Taylor goes to get a different position, if she should have issues here and goes to get a position in the future, well, listen, she'll have, you have a...
Oh, so you want to affect her in getting a promotion one day. You're that upset about this that you're like, oh, I want to take away any possibilities of Officer Taylor ever getting a promotion. Really? That's pretty sad, Mallory. And also pretty grandiose because I highly doubt your bullshit is going to affect her at all.
Particular, you've got a trail of behaviors that aren't really in line with how this precinct or this office does business.
Clearly, Mallory doesn't know cops very well. They all lie for each other. They all stick together. They all hide each other's secrets. Mallory clearly doesn't know many police officers.
And that that would give them an opportunity to possibly choose another candidate. So people, it's very important. I don't ask a whole lot. I really don't ask.
Really? You don't ask a whole lot? So that all those like $200 gift cards on your fucking Amazon wish list that you're constantly shoving in everybody's faces, that's not a lot to you? I don't ask for a lot, Mallory. I could say that. Okay, you ask for everything under the fucking sun from your subscribers. They furnished your entire goddamn house. I bet you every fucking thing we're looking at in the background was bought by your subscribers. You don't ask for a lot. You constantly beg for likes. You beg for PayPal donations. You beg for fucking super chats. You don't ask for much, girl. All you do is ask for shit from your subscribers. Fuck out of here. You don't ask for much. You expect the world to pay your way through life and everything else.
For my supporters.
Oh my God.
But in this case, I'm asking.
There you go, guys. I don't even need to play this anymore. There's the fucking delusion right there, is that she actually has the balls to say that she doesn't ask for much from these people. What? Girl, you were constantly asking for shit from these people. What are you talking about? Your whole house is furnished by them. How dare you say that? Holy shit, people. Holy shit.
On behalf of all trans people, all minorities.
Here she goes using this. Bust out the tiny violins, everybody. Mallory's a hero for the trans community now.
All African Americans.
Stop putting African Americans in there, Mallory. Do not even fucking compare the two.
All people that are.
Isn't Officer Taylor an African American? So is she be included in this, Mallory?
Quite often treated less than and secondary and tertiary in this.
You mean like the African American officer that you're complaining about right now? Like, girl, make it make sense. Fucking make it make sense.
World. So what I've done is I put together a video, right? Getting rid of all the other static. What I wanted to do is just focus on the interactions of Officer Taylor and myself, right?
Because that's the only thing that I could twist into something, right? Because the rest of it, she knows there was nothing wrong done by any of the other officers. So the only thing that she could twist is this into something, which it's really not. It's really just nothing. But she's, in her head, it's something. But to the rest of us, it's not really that big of a deal, dude. It's like, all right, she fucked up a little, but, move on with your life, Mallory. But she's making this like she's some fucking, hero for all, the social justice warrior for the whole fucking community. The fuck out of here, dude. With your bullshit.
Nothing else matters. Nothing else. Take everything else out of the equation.
Because you can't use it.
None of that matters when it comes to the interactions and the behavior that Officer Taylor exhibited toward me and the lack of professionalism she had in response to me.
Wow.
Okay. And this is what we need to alert the chief of police to, and we need to include the link. I have up.
So what? Let me ask you a question. All these people that she's talking to, I don't know how many people are in her chat. I forgot. Okay. But let's just say there was like 600 people in there. Let's just pick a fucking number, right? Why do they need 600 of the same fucking video being sent to them? What is that going to do, actually?
Uploaded the video. The video is now public. okay, on my page. So when we're filing these complaints, we need to make sure that the link to the video is in there. You need to make sure, people, please make sure that, you're a witness. All of you are a witness. You're a standby witness. That's the great thing of live streaming.
Very weird. Look at this. Live chat replay was turned off for this video. See, she cares so much about this issue that she was dropping the link in the chat, and then for some reason the live chat's turned off on this video. Make it make sense.
You were all there. You all saw exactly what happened.
I think that the reason that this was turned off, the live chat. Now, when I was listening to this yesterday, this little part that I did listen to, I wasn't watching the chat, but maybe the live chat was turned off because there was people probably disagreeing with her in it, and she doesn't want people to see that.
From start to finish, every one of you were there on scene with me, period. So as witnesses to this, I'm asking you to please take a few minutes and fill out this form and tell me what you exhibited, what you witnessed.
What you exhibited? What? That doesn't even make sense.
From Officer Taylor, the behavior that she unleashed on me and how it made you feel.
Unleashed on her. She's acting like Officer Taylor pulled her fucking taser out, okay? And her nightstick and beat the shit out of her. Like, dude, seriously, she made one comment to you and then told you about yourself. Exhibited. Get out of here. Unleashed. Whatever.
As an observer. Because I'm telling you, it was a traumatizing experience.
It was so traumatizing. Now, this is where I got fucking pissed off yesterday, okay? It was so traumatizing that Mallory got in her car afterwards and was fucking cracking up, laughing, bragging about what a great content she provides on her channel. What great content. And then she started begging for likes. Hit that like button. And then she started begging for money. But, she was traumatized, guys. She was so traumatized by this. That's where I got fucking pissed off because I'm like, girl, bye. You are fucking putting an act on right now. You were not traumatized. I've seen trauma. I've been through trauma in my life. And that is not what trauma looks like, girl. Who are you talking to right here? People who never been traumatized? Because I've been traumatized several times in my life. And I'll tell you right now, I never got and fucking started celebrating about my fucking trauma. You fucking crazy ass person.
And it would have been traumatizing for anyone watching, especially if they had LGBTQ people in their family, or if they happen to be LGBTQ or trans themselves.
This is what makes me sick, dude. She is totally using this community as a tool to manipulate people. If I didn't know Mallory, all right, let me just back this up for a second here, right? If I didn't know Mallory already, and I don't know her all that well, I could only know her by the behavior she exhibits on here, right? But if I didn't know her better, right? I could be fooled by this and think, oh, she's, she cares about these issues and, she's very sensitive about these issues. But I've seen her in several situations throughout the last 4 years that I've known of her, okay, where things that were, I think, offensive being said towards her community, she fucking couldn't give a fuck less about them. She laughed at them in some cases. So I find it very hard to believe that all of a sudden she's this fucking social justice warrior. Like she's trying to act like here. Like she was traumatized. I mean, I watched the video and I don't know, girl. That's just not what trauma looks like to me. It never did. Never presents that way. You want to talk about how things present? That's not how trauma presents.
Right? Listen, no trans person specifically needs to be addressed in such a manner. And why am I just singling her out, you might ask? Why not the whole crew, right? So I was manhandled a little bit. Listen, that took less.
Okay. Honestly, nobody should be manhandling you, okay, in any situation. So why you're okay with, Mimo, she wasn't manhandled, but let's just say she was, okay? In reality, That would be more of the issue for most people, that the police manhandled them. That would be more of the issue because there was no reason to manhandle her in that situation. There would be no reason for it, okay? They didn't, if they tackled her to the ground, that would be the fucking issue. The real issue. The police tackled me to the ground and I was being cooperative, let's just say, even if you're giving them a little bit of a hard time, it doesn't give them a right to start, quote unquote, manhandling you. But here she is saying that she was manhandled. That's not even the issue. It's not even the issue. I don't even care about that. What, girl? That doesn't even make sense. Because you know why? If she just says that, it's not the same. She can use that really to manipulate everybody. So she knows the trans thing because it's such a sensitive topic. It's more it's going to pull on people's heartstrings just a little bit more, and she could use it just a little bit more to manipulate everybody with it, which is exactly what she's doing right here.
I'm less concerned about being shoved, about being manhandled a little bit or intimidated by the other officers, right? I am mainly concerned for my trans brothers and sisters. That's where my concern lies.
No, it's not, girl.
And
but she's going to use her trans brothers and sisters to manipulate everybody in her chat right now.
All of the other...
If this was about your trans brothers and sisters, you wouldn't be going about this the way that you were. Let's just be real.
Other men on scene, all of them, addressed me properly as ma'am from the get-go.
Okay. I watched this. Many of you guys in here watched this. Okay. She was addressed as ma'am at first. Okay. Then the female officer was like, ma'am, sir, whatever you are. Right. And then as soon as it was clarified that she was a ma'am, that's how she was addressed from that point out. So the fact that it's not like I could see her being upset if she said, no, I'm a ma'am, and the officer kept referring to her as sir from that point on, then I could kind of understand, okay, she has a point, but that's not what happened, okay? She made one mistake. She said something once, and then that was it. It was over. From that point on, she was addressed as ma'am, if need be.
Regardless if whatever...
Like that, like in most people's heads, that would be like the least of their fucking problems, honestly.
Whatever they might have thought, they still addressed me as ma'am. They could see me. They knew that I was ma'am. They knew clearly that I would not have been a sir, a he, or a him. They were following what they knew, whatever they were trained for.
I don't think, to be quite honest with you, that this is even part. I would love to ask somebody that I know that it's a police officer. Like, is this even a thing that's training, that they even discuss in, fucking the police department? Oh, here, they have a whole seminar on how to, how to address trans people. Because I highly doubt that that's the case. I think that's more of just a personal thing, okay, with people and a respect thing than it is a training thing. But okay, girl, you think that there's that much. All right.
They knew that I would be a he, a sir, or a him. And as did Officer Taylor.
Wait.
Whatever they were trained for.
Hold on.
They knew that I would be a he, a sir, or a him.
Was that a Freudian slip right there? She's like, they knew that I would be a her, a he, a him, or a sir. She. What? Do you mean wouldn't be? Because you just said would be.
And as did Officer Taylor. And this video will clearly show that she knew full well that I was a she, a her, or a ma'am.
And you're right. And she slipped up. And once she got closer, because from behind, okay, which was the way that she first approached you, and she said, young lady, I believe that's what she said, right? Asked for her identity. Mallory refused to give her the identity. Once they got closer to her and they were able to see her face at that point, that's when the cop said, "Sir, ma'am, whatever." Okay. So, like I said the other day, there's just some biological things that you can't erase out of your DNA. Okay. No matter what you do, no matter how many hormones you take or how you dress or whatever. For instance, Mallory is very tall, she's a tall woman. Sometimes it's a voice, that just can't fully go away. Like Bruce Jenner still has a more masculine voice, and maybe once they heard Mallory talk, that's when they didn't realize that, oh shit, me, you know what I'm saying? Maybe once she started talking to them, that's when the woman started to question it. Okay, is this a man or a woman? Again, they don't know that you're fully transitioned simply by looking at you, Mallory. That's ridiculous to expect people to know that. You could have just been a man dressed in women's clothing as far as they were concerned, because they don't know you. They don't know you, and they have to. Their job as police officers are to identify you for your own safety, find out who you are should things go further. So this whole thing is ridiculous.
She knew full well. The video will show that. So, people, she chose purposely to be hurtful. She chose purposely to minimize.
If I could be a fucking fly on the wall in that police department when all these fucking complaints start coming through, oh my God, I would just love it. I would just love to see what they do. Like, they're going to be like, seriously, this woman's complaining about like this. This is what she's complaining about. Wow. But she's so like egotistical that she really thinks that like they're going to take her video and use it as like a training course for how to deal with trans people on the streets when they're trespassing like on a children's hospital. Like, I mean, come on, Mallory, this is ridiculous. Well, just move on with your life. Stop milking the fuck out of this.
As a human being, as a trans woman, because she clearly has an issue with trans women.
Her questioning you does not mean that she has an issue with trans women. Her questioning your identity is no indication of her having an issue with trans women. That's in your head, dude. That's in your head. That's your own insecurity. That's not the police officer's problem. It's a you problem.
First and foremost. And she took that personal issue and took that opportunity out on me. Who happened to be at the moment in a very vulnerable situation.
What? What? How are you vulnerable in that situation? You were trespassing on a children's hospital property that you shouldn't have been on. How is that you being in a vulnerable situation?
Now, what if I would have really reacted and responded to that? Do you understand? Something so personal, such a personal attack on me?
That wasn't an attack, dude. I'm sorry. I correct me if I'm wrong, but where did the attack happen? Because I don't see an attack happen. I see a police officer trying to identify you and de-escalate a situation and get you off of a property. Where did the exact attack happen? When did that happen?
What if I really would have just taken such an issue and went into what if, people, that I would not, if I was unable to keep such a calm demeanor through that, through such a nasty attitude.
Wow.
Right? I mean, not for nothing. It's akin. What she did to me was akin to calling my black brothers or sisters the N-word.
No, it wasn't. Oh my God, dude. That got me infuriated yesterday when I heard that. And I'm not even a black person, but I know the meaning behind the word, and the history behind the word, not the full history, but enough to know that why it's such an offensive word, okay, to them. And no, Mallory, no, that's not the same. Not at all. Not even close. Not even fucking close. How dare you fucking even compare the two? Like, that's not even close to the same. Wow, man. My God.
That's what it's akin to.
So now she's using black people and their plight to manipulate her audience. And you'll hear she'll start thanking people for super chats and such. You'll hear it.
Right? So it is so debasing what she did to me. And I handled it with absolute grace, mind you. But what if I wasn't the type of person who was able to do that? What could that have led to? And then what could that have led to? And so on and so on.
Could have led to you being arrested for a number of things.
You understand?
And rightfully so if you would have acted like an asshole.
You understand, people? So please, the link is up there. Let's take a look at the video. Put a 3 in the side chat if you're ready to go over the video with me. Okay? Thank you, Easy. Thank you. By the way, I am working very hard today, as usual. Thank you for the 3.
She's working hard, guys. Look at all this hard work right here. Now you're going to hear her start thanking people for super chatting because she got her victim. The victim card is fully played right now. You know, it was debasing and dehumanizing. And it's the same thing as a black person being called the N-word. And now everybody's like, poor Mallory, here's $20. It worked. You know, job well done, Mallory. Well played. Touche. Oh my God.
For your Cash Apps and your Venmos and everything else. If you send me a Cash App, please try to let me know.
You know, she cares so much about this issue that she has her Cash App and PayPal scrolling across the bottom of the screen the whole entire time. Begging for that money, girl. Get that coin.
No, my phone's on charge. Everyone, please and thank you. I'm working on my February paycheck. I've really been taking quite the beating around here.
So, like, this is like a sales thing, okay? The sales pitch went out, which was the whole, oh, I'm debased, I'm dehumanized. The sales pitch went out. That was the sales pitch. It's like when you cold call people, you know, I did telemarketing years ago, so I recognize the strategy. I wasn't good at it, but I remember the training, okay? It was fucking crazy. Like, I can't believe there's people out there who can do it. I got fired because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't annoy people like that. It was too much. I was like, I'm not calling people. They're eating dinner, okay? It's like 6 o'clock at night. My boss would tell you, keep them on the phone. So you would start off with like light chit chat. And this is what they instructed me to do, okay? Start off with like light chit chat, talk about the weather. So it's basically a tactic to gain their trust in you, you know, and engage them, get them engaged in a conversation with you. And then you do that for a certain amount of time. And then the next step is to give the sales pitch, which is like, so would you like us to come out and you would spend, $40,000 getting your entire house resided? And so like you do the cold call chit chat and then you get into the sales pitch and then hopefully the sale. I couldn't do it. I would be like, oh, they hung up on me, even though if they didn't, because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't annoy people like that. But she just did it. We're watching this happen live, this cold call that she's doing on a live where she just put the sales pitch out and now she's doing the sales part of the sales pitch. She did the cold calling, she put out all the bullshit, and now she's at the sales part. Listen, it's sickening. Hold on, I'm gonna rewind.
Try to let me know. My phone's on charge. Everyone, please and thank you. I'm working on my February paycheck. I've really been taking quite the beating around here. So listen, suck it, haters. Just suck it. Thank you for the 3s. This is the video that you're gonna want to include. This will be the video, which is I've made public. If anybody wants to go grab from my from my video collection, from my channel, go grab the link so we can share it in here, okay? Because that way everybody has the link to the video as well as the link to the complaint form. This will be the video that you want to share because it spares all the other nonsense. It spares all the other bullshit.
There's no question in my mind that Mallory worked in sales at some point in her fucking life. Because this whole fucking cold call tactic that she's using right here is just so typical of a salesperson. There's not wrong with selling things. I'm not saying that. But there's different tactics, some more pushy and annoying, you know what I'm saying, than others. I mean, but I could recognize the sale tactic that she's doing right now.
Right? And it just focuses on Taylor and myself because that's where my complaint lies, between Taylor and myself. Thank you, Jenny, because no matter what
here we go, super chats are rolling in.
People think I did or had coming on that property, that's all static and bullshit, right? None of that warrants or excuses or justifies the behavior of Officer Taylor. None of it.
Dude, the police, I'm telling you right now, the police are just going to throw this fucking complaint right up in the garbage, dude. Yeah, she does need to toughen up. She absolutely does. I said that earlier, Eric. I said she needs to put her big girl panties on and learn how to deal with, things, because this is, yeah, you were all static and bullshit. No, it's not against terms of service. I don't believe it is. She definitely needs to totally toughen up a little bit. Sick.
Okay. All right, let's take a look. Let us just look.
I think she gets more into like she needs the money to run her channel and stuff like that.
Which screen do I want? This one. I want this screen. Okay, here's Officer Taylor and myself. This is the video that's going to be shared in the complaint forms, people. You all are witnesses, so please, again, please do your civil duties in this matter.
This is all part of the sale.
Please don't turn your back on me.
More of the manipulation. If you don't make a complaint, you're turning your back on me. Gross, dude.
Please just follow through on this. I mean, it's so important because the thing is, you have to think of, I'm never going to see Officer Taylor again. She's not going to pull me over for a traffic citation. I'm free and clear of this woman.
So then why are you even worried about this?
But all the other trans people in this community are not.
She's acting like this woman's going around attacking trans people. Like, that's not what's happening, dude, at all.
Not. They're going to be pulled over by her. They're going to be arrested by her. They're going to be prodded by her. They're going to be scolded by.
Really? Are this many trans people in Tennessee, in this area, committing crimes, Mallory? Like, what are you talking about, dude?
By her, they're going to be humiliated by her. They're going to continue to be called he or him or whatever gender they are not. Listen, you get the drift.
That's not what happened.
Okay, let's go. Here she is.
Hey, young lady, how you doing?
I need to. Yeah.
Little cut there. You guys notice the cut? Notice the editing? Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Now, let's just start out. The first word she said to me, this was the very first encounter that Officer Taylor had with me. Let me repeat them. Hey, young lady, how you doing?
And does anybody see Officer Taylor where she is right now in relation to Mallory?
Let me say it again.
Didn't hear her voice yet. Didn't see her yet from the front.
Hey, young lady, how you doing? Now, why is that? because her, like everyone else on the scene, saw a woman walking around the property. No ID necessary. You could clearly see a female walking the property.
Until they got up close. Sorry.
Let's continue.
So now, Mallory's going to gaslight you to think, okay? And I'm sorry, anybody in here who fucking denies this, you're a fucking liar. That when you see a transgender person out here in the real world, every one of us have done it. I've done it with women. I've done it with, I'm talking about naturally born women. I'll be dead honest with you. When I first saw Molly Golightly, and there's other people in my life, when they first saw Molly Golightly, they asked me if she was a man or a woman. I'm just being honest with you, okay? Because I honestly couldn't tell when I first saw her. I couldn't. So, just like, what's her name? Sorry, I shouldn't be eating while I'm talking, guys. But these fucking starbursts were just calling my name. When I first saw Big Ange on the show Mob Wives, I wondered to myself, is that a man or a woman? Because she just had that look. I, on here, have been called transgender, dude. People have referred to me. Am I offended? Nope, not at all. You know why? I have very masculine features. My face, I have a very distinct jawline. I have high cheekbones. I have masculine features. I look exactly like my dad, you know? So I'm not offended by it at all. And trust me, it's happened more than once on here. In real life, people know I'm a woman, you know, but on here, people have said it. They question my gender on here. Okay? I'm not offended by it. Let me swallow my Starburst. I'm not offended by it at all, because I could understand why somebody who doesn't know me might think that I have masculine features. If you're just looking at a picture of my face, you might think that, you know? But I know I'm a woman, and I think it's kind of funny, to be quite honest with you, that people think that. But what do you call it? You know, I questioned it. I questioned Mallory when I first saw her. I was like, is that like when I first saw her, my first introduction was her through Diane's channel. And she decided to make a video about me. She didn't even know me. That was the first time we encountered each other at all. And she made a video Mallorizing me, okay? And it was so stupid, because I'm like, you're talking a bunch of shit about me. And it was basically had to be about my looks and stuff, because she didn't know me at all. And I'm like, whatever, you know. I thought it was funny. I even left her a comment like, yeah, great job, you know. But I saw her for the first time, and I'm sorry, my brain was like, is that a man or a woman? Like, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. Just by looking at her face, I questioned it. So, like, if that's being transphobic because you simply question somebody, I mean, that's crazy to me. That's not transphobia. That's not the definition of transphobia. That doesn't even fit anywhere in the definition. It's just, I'm sorry, I just questioned. What is the problem with that? You know, really, what is the problem with that if you question that in your head? It's a natural thing to do. When you see something and you don't, and it doesn't look the conventional way that you think it does. You know, how many times have you walked up to a fake plant in the store and you had to touch it because you were like, is that a fake plant or a real plant? You know, do you really need to know? No. But you look at it and you're like, is that a fake plant or a real plant? I did it the other night in Chick-fil-A. I seen they had orchids, and I'm like, are those real orchids or fake orchids? So I had to touch it to figure out that it was a real orchid. And I was like, wow, you know, it's beautiful. So, you know, simply asking the question does not make somebody a trans hater or transphobic or anything like that. They're just simply trying to figure out what it is that they're seeing or hearing or whatever it is. So I don't understand this whole mentality that she has, that the woman simply questioning her is transphobia. Because I think that's where I'm just so confused about this, because it happens all the time. It happens to naturally born women like myself. You know, on here, on the internet, people are like, oh, is that a guy or girl? I'm not offended by it. I'm just like, whatever. I have masculine features. You know what? It is what it is. So, I mean, she's just being ridiculous at this point in time.
I feel like I'm being profiled.
I'm not being profiled.
So that my whole thing is, right, I've been questioned. What if I made a big deal out of it every time I was questioned if I was transgender? You know what I'm saying? What if I made a big deal about it? I don't care. I don't make a big deal about it. I'm just like, whatever. People could think whatever. People are going to think whatever they want to think. You know, I know who I am, and that's it. But she's obviously insecure about it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, what would you? Did you just call me? Excuse me.
Hold on, I'm going to rewind this so we could catch the part that made her so mad.
Clearly see a female walking the property. Let's continue.
From afar.
I feel like I'm being profiled.
I'm not being profiled.
Well, what would you? Did you just call me? Excuse
She said, sir, something, sir. I couldn't hear her.
me.
Sir, man, whichever one it is.
It's me.
Okay, so at that point in time, the officer got closer up to her, heard her voice, and then was like, oh shit, maybe in the officer's mind, she was like, oh shit, maybe I misidentified this person. So she said, sir, ma'am, whatever one. It's not like she said asshole or fuckface, whatever one you prefer. She used two respectful terms, sir or ma'am, whichever one you are. And then let Mallory correct her, okay? Maybe she didn't ask it the right way, but I have a feeling even if she asked it in the most kind way possible, Mallory still would have found a way to get offended by it because she had to turn it around.
Now, because I didn't stop for her, right?
Right. Why did you stop, Mallory? There's where the problem started. That's what started to escalate this. The police were approaching you. They're asking you what you're doing, and you just keep walking. You keep walking. In fact, it looks like you started walking even faster from them. So you know what that does? That gives them suspicion. That puts, what do you call it? Suspicion in their mind. Like, how come this person's running away from us? Most people would just stop and be like, yes, can I help you? But you didn't do that. You just kept walking and taking off.
She's irritated with me. Now she wants to be
Exactly, Donna.
nasty.
Exactly. Why is that offensive? Right. Nobody's telling her she shouldn't be living her life that way, or it's disgusting, or it's offensive, or I hate you because you're not really nobody even said that to her. Nobody said, no, you're not really a woman. Nobody said that to her. They simply just said, sir or ma'am. It happens, Mallory. It happens. You know, for you to take it to this point, it's crazy. Exactly, Voices. She totally. By the way, Voice with Voiceless, you guys on Queensbee panel the other night had me in fucking tears. I was laughing so hard in the chat. Oh wait, you know what? Were you on the panel that night? I don't even know. Yeah, you were on the panel. I was laughing really hard. It was a fun night in Queen Bees. If you guys don't know, if you guys aren't in Queen Bees, please go subscribe to her because she's a fucking riot, dude. She really is. She's a pisser. I was laughing so hard the other night. In fact, I was like, you know what? This is what I miss about YouTube. Like just the days where you go into chats and you just laugh. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it gets so goddamn heavy here with some of this shit that we talk about. And I was like, this is what I miss about YouTube was just like the going into the chats and just laughing at shit, you know? Just having a good old time, laughing. Maybe at the expense of Bullhorn Betty, but we were laughing, about her printer and her, just like the stupid shit, like just funny shit. Not in hate, not being hateful, just laughing about things. And it was fun. So go over and subscribe to Queen Bee. And then I think she has another channel called Queen Pin or something like that. So, go to both of them and definitely give her a subscription.
Right? So now she starts the transphobia. Like so many, we're so used to that because we see it here.
Speaking of the devil, there she is. She's here. I was laughing so hard the other day. So hard. Thank you, Beefers, for sharing her link.
The lowest hanging fruit. It's the bullshit, right? Sir.
Did she just refer to herself as the lowest hanging fruit? Wait, hold on a second. What?
Yeah. Like so many, we're so used to that because we see it here.
That's really funny. She's like, we're so used to that. What does she say that we're so used to? Hold on. I gotta rewind this because this is important.
Be nasty. Right? So now she starts the transphobia. Like so many, we're so used to that because we see it here.
Bro, that is like the fucking craziest statement. We're so used to that we see it because we see it here, whatever she said. So why are you making such a big deal about it if it's something that you're so used to? That means that you're questioned all the time about your identity, about your gender. So you just said that you're so used to it, which contradicts this whole situation because you're acting outraged like this is something that's never fucking happened to you in your life before. So now it looks more to me like you have something against this officer that's personal, that goes beyond this. Maybe you're against her for some reason, the same way that you're saying she's against you, because this is very odd. You just said that you're so used to this. So what are you so upset about if you're so used to it? Do you go off on every single person that questions you?
It's the lowest hanging fruit. It's the bullshit, right?
It's the same way I get picked on for my teeth, right? It's the easiest thing to pick on about me. My teeth are fucked up, right? And it's the easiest thing. It's the most obvious, easiest thing to pick on. Do you guys see me? Guys, write letters to YouTube because people are making fun of my teeth. I laugh about it. I'm like, dude, like, you don't think I own a fucking mirror? I know how fucked up my teeth are. Thank you. Thank you for telling me what I already know. Thank you. You know, you're so offended by my teeth that you have to say something by it. And in fact, I take it as a compliment, to be honest with you, because I'm like, shit, if everybody's always picking on my teeth, that must mean the rest of me looks pretty damn good because nobody says anything else about me. You know, there's a million things. If I look at myself, I'm like, oh, I would fucking pick on my hair, you know what I'm saying? My eyes. There's a million things I could rip myself apart for, but everybody goes after my teeth. I'm like, thank you, because that must mean the rest of me is like not that bad, you know? So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. It is what it is. I know what I am. I know my teeth are fucked up. I own a mirror. I'm self-conscious about it. I understand it. And it's the first thing that people see that they're going to fucking pick on. But that's not what's happening here to her. That's not even what's happening. They're just questioning her, dude. They didn't make fun of her. They didn't tell her she's disgusting for dressing the way she is. Like nothing like that happened. She simply just made the mistake of not knowing what she was dealing with. That's all.
Sir, ma'am, whatever. Right?
Thank you, Texas Tiffany. I appreciate that.
Right? Here it is.
Damn.
Okay, do you have
What's
ID?
your name? But I don't know who you
Do you
are.
have
You
ID?
have no ID on you.
Do you have ID? Man.
My name has nothing to do with a gender. There's the problem. Has not.
Let me just say, they do the same thing. Voice for the voices, voice for the voiceless is in here, and they do the same thing to her about her teeth, right? She gives no fucks though. She's like, you know what, girl? Yeah, why? You're gonna make fun? I heard her saying it the other day. You're gonna make fun of my fucking teeth. She has false teeth. Good for her, man. You know what? If she didn't have false teeth, I never understood this too. I'm like, why would you make fun of somebody for fixing their teeth, right? So you make fun of me because my teeth are fucking crooked and shit, right? They shifted. And you make fun of me. If I went out and got dentures, you guys would still make fun of me. Because then you'd be like, oh my God, she has dentures. God forbid she does something that's good for herself. You know what I'm saying? My mom had dentures. And I don't know what Voice's story is. And I don't need to know because I really don't care. That doesn't have to deal with her personality or anything. So I don't even know why that's a fucking issue for people. But my mom had to have dentures when she was young in her 50s. Because of the medication that she was on. What happened was all her bones receded. Okay. The medication that she was on caused osteoporosis and all her bones started to like recede and shrink. So her jawbone receded and it shrunk over time and all her teeth got loose. Every single tooth in her mouth got loose. Like when you're a little kid and your teeth got wiggly. It was not out of her control. So you know what? She had to make a decision. It was a very hard decision for her to make. My mom was I went to the doctor's office with her and it was fucking heartbreaking to watch because she was hysterically crying about it. You know, she had to get all whatever teeth she had in her mouth, everything had to be pulled. It was painful and it was a really, really horrible experience that she went through. And I felt horrible for her watching her have to go through that through no fault of her own. You know, some people just have bad genetics. Other people have maybe have had issues where, you know, their teeth got knocked out for some reason. Okay. Like an accident or something. But, you know, just pick on the woman because of that. Like, it's fucking, I could care less. I'm like, you'd be like, exactly, Rinda. That's what I'm saying. Who gives a shit? Who fucking cares? You know, I wouldn't have even noticed if people didn't say it. I don't even look at things like that. For, you know, it's like, whatever. Fucking assholes. But, you know, if we all sat around and cried about this shit like this, I mean, holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit.
Nothing to do with gender.
Oh, here goes Sparky McBarkison.
And you hear everyone else in the background addressing me appropriately. See, everyone on scene sees a man. Clearly sees female.
Dude, another Freudian slip. Another Freudian slip. She's like, other people on scene see a male. And then she's like, corrects herself, clearly see a female. So even she's fucking up about this, right? She just made the same mistake twice. Twice. I just pointed it out twice. Where she accidentally referred to herself as a male. Twice. So is she going to write a complaint form against herself? Because she just accidentally referred to herself as a male twice. Unfucking real, dude. The same way that this officer did.
Everyone. Every one of her colleagues.
My mute problem is starting up again, so I don't know what just happened here. I didn't touch anything.
Everyone can see that this is a man. But yet she refuses and needs to see a man. Even though clearly.
How is she refusing though? She simply just said, ma'am or sir, whichever one it is. When Mallory corrected her, that was the end of it, dude. It's not like she continued calling her sir or something and disrespecting her. So that's where I'm confused about this.
It's a female.
Are you an officer of the law?
And let me be clear. This is not about, let me be very clear. This is not about passing as female. This is not about, well, you look like a guy. This is not about passing as a female. This is about how one presents. This is about how trans women present. And if a trans woman is presenting as female and so clearly presenting as female, that means they're wearing female attire.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong here, but isn't passing and presenting the same thing in a sense, right? Right? Like passing as a female would mean that you're doing whatever you're doing is enough for people to actually think that you're a female. You're passing as a female, right? People are mistaking you for a female. They don't know that you're a male. And presenting as a female means that when you present yourself to the world, people think you're a female. Isn't it the same thing? Or am I wrong? Because see, here you go, where you're getting into semantics here with this terminology that the majority of people like myself are not all that familiar with. Okay. These are new things that I seriously just learned within the last year. Like I never heard these terms. I never heard passing and presenting. Obviously I know the words I'm saying in this context, right? I didn't know that these were things, that they were issues in this context, like, and that is there a difference? I need to know. Is there a difference between passing and presenting when it comes to transgender people? I mean, can we Google this? Is this something that's Googleable? Because I don't know. I don't know. You know, educate us, Mallory. Tell us what the difference is, because I don't fucking know what the difference is in this scenario. And again, the majority of people, they don't know either. They don't know, because these aren't issues that the everyday person has to deal with. These are issues that trans people only. They're exclusive to trans people and what they have to deal with. The rest of us are not educated on this. Sorry, I don't know where it muted me because I wasn't exactly looking at the screen. But I'm sorry. I was saying that in my whole life, right, my 41 years on this planet, I only know one person, and I'm not close with that person, but I know them. I knew them when I was a child, okay? And in between when I was a child and last saw them, and now they fully transitioned from a female to a male, to the point where they have, you know, a beard and all this stuff. I read their book. They wrote a book. I read their book, and read about their struggles, because I didn't know this about this person. Like, I didn't know all these feelings and struggles and the way that they had to cope with their inner feelings about this. I had no fucking idea. No idea about this, you know, until I was shocked, to be quite honest with you, because I didn't know. I knew that they were, when I knew them, that they were a lesbian and they were married. But what do you call it? I didn't know that they were dealing with, you know, this issue of feeling like they were the wrong gender and feeling like they were in the wrong body. And so they transitioned, and now, you know, they're living their life happily. And to be honest with you, I'm so happy for her. Well, for him. See, it's hard for me because I knew her in my life as a her, and now I have to refer to her as a him, right? So because I don't know her as a him. I never met the new version of her. Him, I should say. So, but anyway, I don't I don't know them. I don't have like a personal relationship with this person. So like I don't know all this terminology, passing, presenting. I heard it on here on YouTube, you know? So the average person, they don't know that. They don't understand those types of things.
Makeup, hair, women's accessories, they are presenting as female. That means you address them most likely as ma'am, she, her, until you learn otherwise, until they tell you, I prefer they, right? Maybe I'm
Right. That's why she's questioning you, dude. When Jeffree Star, I'm going to use Jeffree Star as an example here, because he's asked probably more than anybody in this fucking world. Okay? Right now, at this current time, if I had to find somebody who was probably questioned about their identity in this world, especially on YouTube, it would be Jeffree Star. It would be Jeffree Star. Now, if we look at pictures of Jeffree Star, to me, most of the time, right, when you look at photos of him, he this fucking thing's so annoying. Sorry. I'm gonna have to restart my laptop. But Jeffree Star can present and pass, okay, to me as a female. He dresses like one, he looks like one for the most part. But then there's times where he wears more masculine clothing, right? So when he's asked the question, he says, I'm Jeffree. I'm Jeffree. That's his answer. He doesn't have a pronoun. He doesn't want to be referred to by she, as she or he or they or whatever, because he's basically, I guess, is that considered non-binary? I'm not really sure what you even call that. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna go on my phone so we can restart this fucking bullshit with this goddamn computer. So with people like Jeffree Star, right? How is the average person supposed to walk up to somebody like that and just know without asking or without saying something to them? How are they going to know how to refer to them? Because if I saw Jeffree Star walking around in a dress, okay, maybe I would call him a she, but there's other times where he's not walking around dressed like that. So it's hard to tell. Right. Jeffree identifies as he, him. He said it in an impulsive podcast. Well, that must have been recently because I'm I follow him and he's always said that I'm just Jeffree. He's never had he doesn't have a preference basically of what he's called. So technically I guess he's saying you could call him whatever, but he's Jeffree. That's who he is. All right, hold on. Let me just do this so we can restart. I can't stand this thing. Ah. All right. Let me restart my laptop. I don't really think we need to watch much more of her video. You guys get the point, but I'll restart anyway. But like to have that expectancy of people to call you something. What if you walk up and somebody calls Jeffree Star she and he gets offended because that's not what he wants people to call him? Like, that's what I'm saying. The expectation on society to know what pronouns, when there's so much confusion within that community, right? There's so much confusion because not every person that dresses like a woman is a transgender person. There's different people, there's different labels that are put on people. So the expectation is crazy. Different people have want different things. They want to be called different things. Some of them don't even want to pick either. So how would somebody know? That's what I'm saying. So for Mallory, wouldn't you think, like, I'm not even part of that community and I know this. I know that there's all different, there's a whole rainbow, right? That's why it's a rainbow. There's a whole rainbow of different types of people that are contained within that community that have different ideas and different wants and different needs. So, like, how does she expect people? Are we supposed to be fucking mind readers when we walk up to you? I just don't. I want to know. I want the answers to this because that's the only way people are going to learn is if you educate us on this. I don't get offended. I'll give a different color. I don't get offended, but I'll give you a different color to call me. Right. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. I feel like her expectations on society right now are just way too high, and we all deal with disrespect on different levels every day of our lives, right? We deal with it every day. I deal with it at hockey with other parents that are disrespectful towards, me sometimes and say things to me that I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why would you say that to me about my kid? We have to deal with it. But you also have to learn how to deal with it. You have to learn how to shake things off and just move on from things. I'm not saying don't talk about them, don't educate people, but to go to this extent where you want this woman fired from her job because of this, I think is too far. Way too far. You gave her this speech, you told her how she should properly address transgender people from your perspective, Mallory, because I feel like every person you talk to, you could get a different answer of how, different perspective. But from your perspective, that's what you told her how to deal. You speaking as one person for the entire community, okay? That's how she should deal with people like you. And that's it. It should have just been left there, in my opinion. There's no need to go file reports, have 900 people file reports on this woman, and then, try to get her to, lose her job or not get a promotion in the future. That's as psychotic as Bullhorn Betty telling the girl at Ashley Furniture that she's going to follow her from job to job for the rest of her life and send that video to whoever employs her. So you're going to make sure that this woman can't survive all because you went into the store and started an altercation with her and got her pumped up. That you're going to do that. You think that that's a normal, rational reaction and behavior to what happened in this situation. You don't see how out of proportion to the situation that is. Like, your reaction to what you're saying you're going to do does not match what happened. You're going to try to ruin the rest of this girl's life over a fight that you had with her. One fight, one singular fight that you had with her. You're going to try to ruin her entire life. That's not normal, dude. Sorry, not normal. I've had people do 10 times worse than that. And I don't even think of them anymore. You're that vindictive that you're like, oh, this woman deserves to never fucking work again. Like, she deserves to never have an income again because she had one fight at her job. So now she never deserves to have a job again. What, like, really? You really think that, right? Because you never had a fucking bad day. Get out of here. These people are fucking out of their minds. Mallory thinks this woman shouldn't get passed up for a promotion or, what? Do you want to cut her fucking retirement off and shit too? Like, over this one comment? Really? And again, just like with the Ashley Furniture girl, nobody knows what happened 10 minutes, 20 minutes, the morning of to that officer before she came to work that morning. You don't know what kind of shit she's dealing with in her life because it's all about these people. That's it. It's all about them. They're so fucking self-centered and selfish that they don't think about, well, you know what? Maybe officer whatever was having a bad day that day. Maybe she just got punched in the face by somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what she went through that day, but you don't even give a shit because the only person you care about is you. And I guarantee you Mallory's not going to follow through with this shit, with these complaints and everything, because most likely it's not going to go anywhere. But also, she made her money that she wanted off this situation. She's going to milk it. And as long as she can have people in her chat watching and interested and engaged and PayPaling her and Cash Apping her and super chatting her, then she's gravy. She's gravy, baby. And you'll hear her say that in the same live that she's claiming she was so traumatized by this situation. So traumatized. Oh my God, I'm so traumatized. Get out of here, Mallory. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that Mallory was traumatized. Put a 2 in the chat if you think she's full of shit. Just for a show of hands. Take your personal feelings for Mallory out of it, okay? And think about this from a logical perspective, okay? For what we all observed so far, how do you feel? See a lot of 2s in the chat. I would never cause nobody to lose income. Nobody. I don't know what's in their life, but their kids, animals, whatever, shouldn't suffer. Exactly. You're going to take money out of children's mouths because your feelings were hurt. Stop it. Feelings were hurt by something that she said she's used to happening to her all the time. Okay, girl. 2, lots of 2s. Lots of 2s. Haven't seen a 1 yet. Lots of 2s in the chat, guys. So, I could take my personal feelings out of something and look at it objectively and be like, you know what? Or subjectively, whatever, whichever one it is. But I could look at something and be like, you know what? Maybe that was unfair. I gave her that. Maybe the woman didn't say it the right way, but I just don't think that it was as dramatic as Mallory's making it out to be. I just don't. Getting busted by the police isn't a pleasant experience. I have been there before, LOL. But I mean, that's on you when you're in the wrong, right? Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier. It's never a pleasant experience. Dealing with the police usually it's not meant to be a pleasant experience. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Their job is to serve and protect. So, that's how they have to do their job sometimes because they're dealing with the scum of the earth. most of the time. 9 out of 10 times they're dealing with horrible fucking humans. So, I mean, it's just crazy that she has high expectations of people in general, but really high expectations of the police. They're not there to be your friend, Mallory. The police, they're not there to go out to lunch with you and have fucking tea and crumpets. They're police. They're there to protect the community. And at that time, you were presenting a threat to the community with children in it. If you were walking on a school property or any other property, you would have gotten the same treatment because you don't belong there. It doesn't matter what gender you are. You just don't belong there. Period. End of story. And they said that so many times throughout this whole altercation. And she somehow got laser focused on, oh my God, this one comment that was made to her. So much so that she's willing to look past the fact that she was quote unquote manhandled by them. She's so offended by the comment that she's like, don't worry, you could beat the shit out of me. Right? You could beat the shit out of me. Mallory clearly never heard the term sticks and stones may break bones, but words will never hurt me. She clearly never heard that term because she's so worried. She's so worried about that comment that she's willing to overlook being manhandled. It's like, okay, dude. And by the way, that's not me being transphobic. I call everybody dude. I have zero doubts if she breached security, she would have filmed any kid she came across. I totally fucking agree with you. Dude, the girl, right? Let's just forget Mallory's appearance and everything, right? She's walking around on a children's hospital campus with a phone in her hand, filming the campus, walking into the building, filming things. That in and of itself, right? Without anything else that happened that was weird. That in and of itself is suspicious. Why are you at a fucking children's hospital filming with no authorization? You know that if you were to even go in there and film, like a documentary or something, you would need to have the proper permits to allow you to film in there, right? You can't, just because you have a phone, that doesn't mean you're allowed to just walk around wherever the fuck you want, film things, and then post them on the internet. I mean, wow. Just fucking wow, dude. So that alone was odd. That she's walking around with a camera in her hand filming at a children's hospital, where there's minors everywhere. Then forget the fact that she walked into the lobby, made this crazy story up that didn't make sense, didn't have her COVID card, didn't have her a mask on or anything to, protect those sick children from the outside world and the germs. And then, and then when she leaves, she tells them that she's going to look for her COVID card or whatever. And then she's wandering around the property aimlessly. That all of that behavior together looks suspicious. Very suspicious. Then they encounter her and they're like, ma'am. And then when they get close up or hear her voice or whatever it was that prompted the woman to say, sir, now they're, who knows where their minds went. There's sick people in this world. There's sick fucking people in this world. That would be like, what if somebody was walking around dressed up in like a nurse's uniform, but they don't work at the hospital? Wouldn't that put red flags out? People would be like, what is this person doing here pretending to be a nurse? They don't know. They don't know who Mallory is. Was Mallory going to harm anybody physically? No, I don't think she's a danger to anybody but herself, honestly. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think she posed any physical threat to anybody. I don't think, but they don't know that. They don't know that she's not some creep coming in there to touch little kids. You know what I'm saying? They don't know that. They just see her and they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? They still refuse to give me legally seized dashboard cam. Wait, what? Didn't tell me where my car was taken. We found out my boyfriend's Apple locator because my phone was in it. Oh, did you have an encounter with the police? I missed how they treated me screaming. I have scars from road rash where I was thrown. I was never charged for the wreck at all, and it only involved me. When I was younger, I was in high school, okay? And a bunch of friends and myself, we all drove up to, there's like this pier, like the dock that we could like hang out at, right? A lot of people go there. It's like a restaurant parking lot, really. Well, not a restaurant. Is it a restaurant? I don't know. It's like a catering hall. I don't know if they have a regular restaurant in there or not. I think they do. They might. But on nights where it's closed, where the restaurant's closed, people go in the parking lot and they hang out because they're down by the water and everything. So we're all hanging out there, and I had my car, and there was 3 guys in my car, and my girlfriends were in the other car, right? So it was 3 girls in one car, and then it was me, and then 4 guys in my car, right? Of course, we're smoking weed and shit. We're hanging out. Okay. Cops roll up on us. And what do? They search my car. Why? Because I had all the guys in my car. So, they were like, obviously, they probably smoked weed or whatever. And they came up and they fucking ripped us all out of the car. They went through my whole entire car. They searched my whole entire car up and down. Didn't find anything. Thankfully, we smoked it all. But, they searched my car. Like, and it is what it is. That's what they do. That's what the cops do. Their probable cause was smelling weed. They came. I allowed them to search my car because they knew there was nothing in there, and I let them search my car. We sat there. We cooperated. They did what they had to do, and then they left. Like, you have to deal with that in life. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. But they were assholes the whole time to us. They weren't nice to us the whole time. But you know what? It is what it is. When I was a kid, I was like, oh, fuck the police, because I was an asshole. I was a dirtbag, and I was doing things that were wrong that I shouldn't have been doing. Now I understand. I understand they're just doing their jobs. All right, so let me myself back up here. Yay. Have to restart at least once every stream. As a daughter of a PA state police captain, I was raised to be really respectful to law enforcement, but I also know there are a lot of bad cops. Exactly, CK. Like there's good cops, there's bad cops. It's just like anywhere else in the world. There's good people, there's bad people. Like, some cops will come and they'll treat you with the utmost respect, and they're just doing their jobs, and they try to be caring and understanding. Like there's this one channel that I follow. I think it's called Ohio police body cam, something like that. And the cop there's one cop specifically that's in a lot of the videos, and he's like he should be the example for all police officers. The way he talks to people and the way he treats people, it's like unbelievable. He's like the nicest guy. He's very understanding. He tries to talk to everybody with kindness, but unfortunately that's just not how every police officer handles things. Especially I found in my experience, okay? And I'm talking like any time in my life when I was younger and I got pulled over or I got my car was searched or whatever, right? I have always found the female officers to be a lot more aggressive than the male officers. I think it just simply comes down to that they have something to prove. They're women, and it's just like in hockey, right? There's a lot of girls that play hockey, and a lot of the times, like they play with the boys, right? And a lot of the times, the girls are the toughest ones on the team. They're the ones that are going blasting all the guys because they have something more to prove, than the guys do. So I mean, I've found that just female officers, not all of them, but a lot of the ones I've dealt with in the past, they're not. They could be really nasty, but they kind of have to be. You know what I'm saying? They're in a scary position. I give props to female officers, honestly, because like they're dealing with men, that are fucking stronger than them. It's scary. So I would probably be the same way if I was a female officer, to be quite honest with you. Mallory slippers. Oh my God, that's the funniest thing ever. Mallory slippers. That's fucking great. You win comment of the day with that, okay? You just won comment of the day with that comment right there. That is great. That is great. All right. Let me see if I can get us back up and running here. We're not going to watch much more of this because, I could only take so much of these people, but we'll do this. Yeah, those slippers were busted. And then she lied about the slippers, right? And she tried to make it that the slippers weren't. Stop it already. I don't know what you're barking at. She tried to make it that the slippers were boots, she said. They're boots with a zipper. I'm like, girl, we saw those shoes. I love this like headshot that she's got going on here. It's very endearing. Very endearing. Literally busting out the seams. They sure were. Yeah, she hurts my brain too, Navy. She does. All these people do, honestly.
They, or I'm a cross-dresser, you can call me sir. You know, whatever the fact. But this person is presenting as female, and you had it right from the beginning, Officer Taylor.
Okay, she had it right from the beginning, which is Mallory's right. She did. She called her young lady at first, okay? But, you know, Mallory, why aren't you getting upset that she's calling you young? You're not young. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you get upset about that? Because you're not young, you know? So she called you young lady, and you're not young technically, right? You're in your 50s. That's not really considered young anymore. I'm not considered young either in my 40s. Like, so, you know, why didn't you get offended that she called you young, lady? I mean, at this point, you know, once she got closer up to you and again heard your voice or whatever it was that triggered in her mind that, oh shit, maybe I'm not talking to a female, whatever it was, whether it was your voice or your face or something triggered her. And she was like, uh-oh, I'm not dealing with a female, maybe, you know, that she said that. It's not the worst thing in the world that could happen to you, Mallory. Let me just tell you something, Mallory. If this is the worst thing that's happened to you in your life, then I'm going to say you had a pretty fucking easy life, girl. If this is the worst thing that you're making such a big fucking deal about this, and this is your quote unquote trauma, well, girl, you better be thanking your lucky stars because there's a lot worse shit that could happen to you in the world. Way fucking worse shit that could happen to you in life that could really fucking traumatize you. Okay? So if somebody's saying, sir, ma'am, to you, is the worst thing that's happened to you, you're lucky, girl. You really are. You should be thinking you're blessed. You're honestly blessed if this is the worst thing that's happened to you.
Hey, young lady, how are you? So she knew who this person was about. She knew full well this was a lady.
No, that's not true. You can't speak for what was in her mind, Mallory, because you're not in there. Maybe at first she thought you were a woman. Then when you turned around, she thought otherwise. It's very possible. Clearly, when she first approached you, she was far away and she was looking at you from behind. So the hair, you know, might have made her think it's a woman. Men have long hair. Do they not? Do men not have long hair? Are there not men out there in this world? Because I've seen them. Men that wear eyeliner, that paint their nails black, that do things that other women do, right? But they're still men. They still refer to themselves as men. I see men carrying bags around, pocketbooks now. Does that mean they're women because they're carrying around bags? I saw a guy at the gas station the other day. He had a pocketbook, like a full-on, not a man purse, right? Not a merce, as I like to call it. You know, like there was like kind of fanny pack bags, or like, you know, it was a women's purse. But he was dressed in all men's clothing, head to toe, had a men's haircut. Okay. So, you know, because he was carrying a purse, should I call him a she? No, I'm not going to do that. So, you know, it's very confusing. Just putting that out there for us, those of us who are, what do they call us? Cis, I think it is. Again, another term that's new to me. I didn't know I had to identify myself as that, but that's what they call straight people, right? Straight people who are whatever gender they were born as. That's what we're referred to, I believe. Okay. You know, it's confusing for us because there's so many variants out there now of what people refer to themselves as.
Yes, I am also that.
And we're expected to know all of them, which is crazy to me. We're expected to be mind readers now. The whole world's expected to be mind readers.
You have ID. You have ID on you?
You're the one
Oh, wait. Whoa, why'd it cut? Why'd it cut again?
that originally approached me, though, correct?
So, all right. So she I just want to explain this to you guys. For you guys who didn't watch the full entire video, I know a lot of you did, but for those of you out there who didn't watch the full entire video, okay, there's about, I'm going to say, if I have to, and I'm taking a guess here, okay, but between that first interaction that she showed between her and the officer, okay, and this part right here, about 20 minutes went by, maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour in between, okay? So she just cut that entire part out. Why? Because nothing happened in that entire part. Nothing happened. And this situation wouldn't have became an issue again at all until Mallory brought it back up. Mallory's the one who made it an issue again. The cop didn't make it an issue, which is why she cut out that entire 20 minutes right there, because nothing eventful happened in that 20 minutes or half hour, whatever it was, until Mallory was standing there waiting for them to get her car, okay, and then or figure out what they were doing to get her car or bring her to the car. You know, I think they were waiting for the security guard or something to come pick her up. She brings it back up to the officer. She makes it an issue again when it wasn't an issue at all for the last 20 minutes.
I am. Now, clearly I wouldn't have been a sir, right? So what? No.
You a sir, a man,
Clearly. This is, I didn't know if you were a sir, a ma'am, really.
Okay. And she's being honest with you. She didn't know. She didn't know. And there's been times in my life when I didn't know when I saw certain people. And there's been people who've questioned me and said that I look like I'm trans. And you know what? It is what it is. I don't get offended by people saying that. So why are you offended, Mallory? You are trans. You are a trans person. Why are you offended that people are questioning you? That's what I need to understand.
How you doing?
Like, I really wish, I honestly, I would give Mallory a link right now if she wanted it. If she would come up to me and explain why she's so offended by this. She was being disrespectful. She absolutely was.
I'm well. How are you?
She actually cut out. There was a more to that conversation with the female officer, and where the officer continues to explain herself and then tells Mallory that, basically lets her know, like, Mallory, you're not the one who should be asking the questions here. That would be my job. I know I belong here on the property and you don't. But Mallory cut that whole part out. She cut the part out where it's like, hey, lady, you're the one who initially was in the wrong. We wouldn't even have this conversation if you weren't trespassing on the property. None of this would have happened if you weren't trespassing on the property. But she cut that out. She completely just cut that out.
Are you supposed to be on this campus? Hey, young lady, how you doing?
So now she's replaying the beginning. She's replaying the beginning because, like, this was the most uneventful thing ever. And she cut out 90% of it.
Hey, young lady, how you doing?
She plays it slow. She plays it slow.
Clearly,
when the woman was walking behind her and said young lady, to be honest with you,
again, it just shows.
I see men wearing feminine looking things all the time lately. Like I've been seeing more and more of it. Like I just said, carrying bags around, maybe this woman didn't get the full scope on Mallory when she said the sir man thing. Like, this is just ridiculous. I'm sorry.
That she knows full well, and she's sitting there, a straightforward, straight up, being a cocky ass liar.
Being a cocky ass liar. She just literally honestly told you to your face that she was not sure that whether you were a man or a woman. Once she got a good look at you, she changed her mind. From behind, she thought you were a woman. When she got a good look at you, she started to question things. Are people not allowed to change their fucking minds, Mallory, in this world? I mean,
a liar. She knew full well whether.
I have to say, man, if Mallory gets this upset about this, like, her life must be really tough, dude. You know what I'm saying? Because she just said that she's used to it, right? I showed you guys the part where she goes, well, I'm used to this. It happens all the time. So, I mean, she must have a fucking meltdown every time this happens to her. Think about how hard it's got to be Mallory in this world, because she has a fucking meltdown every time somebody questions her. You know, because in order to be used to something, right? That means that it has to happen a lot. Like I'm used to my dog jumping on me now because he jumps on me fucking 900 times a day. So I'm used to it. You know, I'm used to him barking all the time because he barks all day long. Um, so she's got to be having this happen a lot. Like she said, it happens all the time. So, you know, I mean, holy shit, she must just spend her whole life traumatized by people asking her if she's a male or a female. Her whole life must be like just one big trauma show. Cause holy shit, you know, it's like the worst thing apparently that can fucking happen to you as a human. This is the most offensive, worst thing, traumatizing thing that could happen.
Whether I was female or male. But she's being a bigoted liar while on the clock, while serving.
So now she's calling her a bigot. That's the new buzzword that she's gonna fucking throw in there. And let's look that word up just so we all understand what that word means. Okay? Because she's gonna throw that term around now. I heard this yesterday and I was just wow. So a bigot, a person who oh my god, I don't know this word. Obstinately, I don't know that word. Or unreasonably attached to a belief, opinion, or faction, especially one who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular group. Okay? I don't see that any of that happened here. Okay. I don't think she was being unreasonable. I don't even think she shared any of her beliefs about transgender people. I just think she simply was confused and she questioned something. That's it. That's all that happened. She wasn't sure what she was looking at. Just like when I walked into fucking Chick-fil-A the other day and I didn't know if I was looking at real orchids or fake orchids. I couldn't tell. So I had to touch it and find out. So same thing. Same fucking thing. But yeah, let's start calling her a bigot now. I mean, this is absurd.
While supposed to be serving the community in which she is employed to serve, including the LGBTQ plus community.
You know how I know that this is ridiculous? Even Molly Golightly was fucking laughing at it. Even Molly Golightly, who is like the queen of fucking ridiculousness, the most histrionic person on the planet, thought that this was all a big fucking joke. Okay? That's how I know.
And here she has failed dramatically. Dramatically. This is the issue of my complaint. Let's continue.
No.
Sir, a man,
Clearly.
And she doubles down on it.
Sirs do not present like this. So that would be pure.
Thank you, Tennessee.
Why does she keep posing it? She just simply told you that she was confused and didn't know what you were. Okay? And again, just because you present like a female doesn't mean you are one.
Thank you, $10. I appreciate it coming in. Never stop being you for anyone. That's never going to happen. Thank you, my love.
So here comes all the money because now she put the word bigot in there. So people are feeling more bad for her. They're like, oh my God, somebody was a bigot towards her. You know, bigotry. Let's give her $10 so she feels better. She knows what she's doing.
Can I ask you for your ID? Yes and
Did you just hear what she said? She's like, and then I asked you for your ID.
no. Did you give me your ID?
Did you give me your ID?
Can I ask
Are you ignorant?
Are you
That
ignorant?
would be a question.
Are you ignorant?
No, that's my question to you.
No question
So-
to be asking me. 'Cause
so
I
see-
got a reason for being on this.
Right.
That's when I cheered her on the other day. That's when I cheered the cop on the other day because I was like, that's right, girl. She turned the conversation back to the original issue, which was her being on the campus. She refused to answer the question about ignorance, and then she turned it back around to what the actual issue was, which was her being on the campus. And I cheered her on the other day because I got accused in an email that I was cheering on her hatred towards Mallory or something.
But do you have a reason, right? Is your reason for being on campus to sit there and humiliate a trans person?
You were not humiliated, Mallory. Stop it. Stop it. You were not humiliated. You said that this happens to you all the time. You're used to it. And now it's humiliating.
Right? To misgender a trans person. Is this part of your...
She didn't misgender her, though. That's the funny part. She didn't misgender her. She just said, sir or ma'am. She wasn't sure. So she figured I'll throw both of them out there, and whichever one's the right one, that's the one we'll use. So she just said sir or ma'am. She did not continuously refer to her as a sir at all.
Your reason for being on campus? Because for me, for your reason to be on campus would become to assess the situation and help to find out who this person is. First and foremost, you would.
And that's exactly what she did. Oh, what the fuck just happened? Hold on. That's exactly what she did.
Already identified, which you did, that it was a lady, which you did from the get-go. It was a ma'am. It was a lady.
Dude, like, do you guys understand how often this like happens in the world with police officers? Like, I saw it happen to a woman who was referred to as a sir by a police officer, and she got offended by it, you know. And then, but she didn't care after a couple of minutes because that wasn't the issue. But you know, initially. The police officer referred to her as a sir because of the way she was dressed. She looked like a man, and she got very offended. And she was like, I'm not a sir. She corrected the police officer, and then that was the end of it. I watched this happen like in a store one time with somebody. So, you know, it's like it happens, dude. It happens all the time, you know. It's not that big of a fucking deal to me.
You assess that immediately, Officer Taylor.
Right. She chose not to identify herself or show ID. There's no way for this officer to know unless she grabs your crotch, Mallory. Okay, which would definitely be a fucking problem. Whether you're an actual woman or a woman dressed up in a man dressed up in women's clothing, which is also a possibility. That's what I mean. Like, and she acknowledged it. She acknowledges it in this very stream that there's a possibility that they could be I don't even know what the correct term is anymore, because like I said, I feel like you have to walk on eggshells nowadays with any of these. Is it a cross-dresser? I'm not really sure what the word is, what the politically correct word is, but a man that wears women's clothes, okay, that still is a man. I don't know what you refer to them as, but there's no way for her to know that unless she grabs your crotch or you tell her, okay? So she verbally got confirmation of which one you were, which is what she has to do as a police officer to identify you.
So at what point after that did it become about misgendering and flexing your bigotry onto this trans person?
That's not bigotry. Wow, Mallory, you know, if you're going to be throwing these terms around, you really need to like learn what they are, because it's like you don't even understand what these terms mean.
Look at a lady and call her sir, and to call her sir.
I don't know what you are.
I don't know what you are. Once again, she doubles down on that. She has the nerve to double down on it again, even after seeing my driver's license.
Wait, what?
At this point, she
Hold
had
on.
all.
I just missed that.
And call her sir, and to call her
I don't
sir.
know what you are.
I don't.
She's being honest right there. She just said, she's like, I don't know what you are. I don't know what you are. She's being honest. There's nothing wrong with being honest, you know? I have to be honest. When I first saw Mallory, I wasn't sure what she was either. I really wasn't. It's hard to tell because in some aspects, she looks like a woman. You know, she has hair like a woman, right? She has makeup on like a woman. She has, from what I could see, I mean, I couldn't tell. I only saw her from like the maybe neck up, you know, the first time I ever saw her. And just from that alone, I questioned, because her voice made me question her, you know, if it was a man or a woman in my head. And her facial structure made me question. She has features in her face that would be just like I do. I have masculine features. She had features in her face that looked masculine, but the biggest tell for me was her voice. I heard her voice, and that's honestly what made me question more than anything, I think. You know, once I heard her voice, because it doesn't sound like a typical female voice. Okay. So that's why the woman might have questioned hers because she didn't hear her voice when she was initially walking up and just didn't know. You know?
Know what you are. Once again, she doubles down on that. She has the nerve to double down on it.
She has the nerve to double down and be honest that she was confused. Okay.
Again, even after seeing my driver's license.
No, that's not true. She's not. No. You're twisting that. Hold on, I'm gonna let the dog out. She's twisting what happened right there. That's not what happened. She's not doubling down. She's speaking in the past tense that she didn't know. You asked her a question about when she first walked up to you, how she approached you. So that's when the police officer said, in the past tense, she's talking, I don't know what you are, meaning like I didn't know when I approached you, because that's the context that they were talking about, was the initial approach. She's not doubling down and saying that she still doesn't believe it. She's telling you what she thought in that moment.
At this point, she had already seen my driver's license because it was shown to her. When I presented my driver's license about 10 to 12 minutes before, it was shown to her directly.
Like 20 minutes, but okay.
It was shown to her. And it was confirmed to her that I was indeed female.
I thought she handed her, I don't even know. I don't remember her even handing her identification over, but I'm pretty sure she gave it to the male officer and not the female officer. Correct me if I'm wrong. I would have to go back and look, but I could have sworn it was the officer with the glasses, the male.
Here she is once again.
Because he was the one throughout the whole video that was doing most of the talking.
Dehumanizing me and minimizing me to my face as a trans woman. I don't know what you are.
All right, let's look up this term, because here's another term that she's using. Dehumanize. Let's just see what that means. I want to see the actual definition of what that means. Deprive of positive human qualities. Dehumanization is the denial of full humanness to others and the cruelty and suffering that accompanies it. A practical definition refers to it as the viewing and treatment of other people as though they lack the mental capacities that are commonly attributed to human beings. Do you guys feel like that's what was going on here? Because I don't.
I don't know what you are, as if I'm an object.
No, she doesn't know what you are, a man or a woman, okay? So, or they, right? Because some people, or a non-binary person. So that's, in my opinion, the proper way to say that I don't know what you are. I don't know if you're an alien. I don't know if you're adult. I don't know. I don't know what you are. I don't know if you're a man, a woman. I don't know what you are. I don't know which you refer to. See, this is like picking apart words and semantics at this point in time.
A thing.
Making an
Really?
issue out of nothing. And putting words into her head. She doesn't know what she meant when she said that. That's how Mallory's interpreting it in her brain.
Really, Officer Taylor? My goodness. Let's continue.
Yeah, this is
Hey,
not.
young lady, how you doing?
Hey, young lady, how you doing?
Did you give me your ID?
Well, that's why I asked, would you be ignorant?
Did you give me your ID?
Because look at me.
Because it was real ignorant
Right.
of you
Yeah.
to be on the campus where you
Right.
ain't supposed to be on there
So
and not give me your ID.
when you're dealing
That's
with
number
women, when you're
That's another time that I cheered her on, because she's again asking, did you give me your identity? And you're not supposed to be in this campus. So I asked you to identify yourself. But she's trying to go back to the original initial reason as to why they're even having this conversation.
you're dealing with women, when you're dealing with women, puts her hands in my face. When you're dealing with women, put your hands in her face, turns her back on me.
She doesn't have to, she's not Mallory, she's not getting paid to sit there and argue with you. She doesn't have to argue with you about this. You know what I'm saying? You're like demanding this respect when you're the one who's in the wrong here. You're the one who's in the wrong here. And you turned it into an issue that it wasn't. And she has every right to walk away from you in this situation.
Let's continue, Officer Taylor. Yes, women When you're dealing with women,
maybe because she is a woman.
women,
You're telling a woman, how to deal with women, a naturally born women. That's why she's turning around and saying that, because she's like, women, like, you're gonna tell me about women? I am a woman. I was born a woman.
okay.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Now, what do you think about that, Officer Taylor?
I don't think anything about that.
Something.
I think you're trying to tell a woman who's been a woman since the day she was born how to deal with other women. Okay? And I think that's wrong for you to be doing, Mallory. You're overstepping your bounds there a little bit.
As simple as saying, when you're dealing with women,
You haven't had to deal with being a woman for your entire life, okay? And some of the pitfalls that come along with being a woman, from when you're born, okay, to when you'll never know that. Just like I'll never know Mallory's struggles. Mallory's never gonna know the struggles that a naturally born woman goes through. I'm not being bigoted or hateful or anything like that. It's just a fact, okay? She's never gonna know the struggles that we go through as women. I remember being a little girl and watching my brother being able to do things that I wasn't able to do just because I was a girl. Just because I was a girl. My brother was allowed to walk to the store by himself, but I wasn't. Why? Because I was a girl. My brother was allowed to stay out late. You know, his curfew was always later than me. Why? Because he was a boy and I was a girl. My brother was allowed to go, sleep out with his friends and go on trips with them and go camping with them, but I wasn't. Why? Because I was a girl. My brother was allowed to have his girlfriend sleep over, but was I allowed to have a boy sleep over? No. Why? Because I could get pregnant because I'm a girl. So you don't know the struggles that a woman, okay, needs to deal with. A real woman, a born woman, okay? Not saying that you're not a real woman. I'm saying that a woman who is born a woman has to go through from the day that they're born, okay, up until they're adults. You didn't have to live that in your childhood. Some of the unfair things, the sports that we couldn't play. Why? Because we're women. Oh, you can't join baseball, Liana, because why? Because you're a girl. Girls don't play baseball. Okay. As bad as I wanted to join the baseball team when I was a kid, my mom wouldn't put me on baseball because I was a girl and she didn't want me getting hurt with all the boys. So you're the one who's actually being offensive in this situation, Mallory. Okay. We're allowed to get offended too by shit that you say. And to tell a woman who was born a woman and lived as a woman her whole entire life that she doesn't know how to deal with being a woman, put yourself in her shoes and think about how that would make her feel. That's why she turned around and said women to you. Because it's like, who are you talking to, girl? Who the fuck are you talking to? And let me tell you something. Here's another thing that you might not know. When you're a woman, women aren't always nice to each other, okay? And it's been like that all through your life. Women are catty, they're judgmental of each other, and sometimes I find it personally easier to talk to men than I do to other women because women could be such assholes towards each other. So that's another thing that you probably didn't have to deal with your whole entire life, is women being shitty to you, judging you just because of the way you look or the way you dress, and we all do it. We're all guilty of it, you know. You see a pretty girl who's dressed, maybe in like a outfit that's a little revealing, and you're like, a woman will automatically look at the other woman and be like, oh my God, she's a whore, she's a slut, she's a whore, she's a slut, without even fucking ever knowing her or talking to her, because that's how women are towards each other. Not all women, but a lot of them are. I have friends that are like that, and I try not to be like that. I try not to judge people like that because I have friends that are like that. And I have one friend in particular that I'm thinking about right now, that she was always like that. She hated all the pretty girls, and when we were growing up and everything like that, because she inside maybe was jealous. You know what I'm saying? Because she was comparing herself to that other women, because we tend to do that as women. We constantly compare ourselves to other women, right? And so, you just demean somebody or put them down immediately because you're like, oh, she's pretty, she must be a bitch. She's beautiful, she must be a bitch. She must be self-centered, right? Isn't that how? I'm sorry, every one of us, I'm pretty sure every woman here has made that judgment on somebody. We have made that judgment on another woman. She's gorgeous, she must be a bitch. She must be a bitch. Like, I know people that hate certain actresses just because they're beautiful. And I'm like, why? Why do you like hate that actress? Like, she's gorgeous. Why can't you just admit that she's gorgeous? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's a lot of struggles that go on just between women, right? That you might not even understand, Mallory. That you might not understand how women treat each other and what it's like, the struggles that we grow up with. Everybody has struggles. I'm not saying, women are the only ones that it's so hard being a woman, because there's a lot of benefits to it too, but there are struggles as well, just like anybody else in the world,
Right? When you're dealing with women, Officer Taylor, women, this after again, seeing my identification.
Like, I hate to say this, but the reality is you can dress like a woman, you could go through surgeries, okay, and turn into a woman, but you're never going to fully understand what it's like to be a woman, and deal with the things that we deal with in life. You're never going to fully understand it. You might get a little taste of it here and there now, but you're not going to fully understand it. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know why anybody would want to be a woman, but that's just me.
Is female. Every other officer on scene referring to me as she, her,
point 07703 AZ girl. Listen, I respect that Mallory wants to be a woman, right? She wants to be referred to. Like, I fully respect that. Okay. And again, I'm allowing these comments in chat because I don't, people feel differently about it due to religious beliefs or just whatever it is, and you're allowed to think that. Okay. I respect that Mallory identifies herself as a woman and wants to be a woman. I refer to her in the proper terminology. I just think that along with her decision in life, whenever it was, I don't know what age she was at when she decided to transition. Okay. She has to understand that, she's not 100% a woman like I am born. Okay. Born a woman with female parts. She's never going to fully be the same type of woman that I am, but I will respect her decision that, she wants to be called a woman. I respect that. About her. She was trying to pick a fight. I just want to make that clear here, dude, because I respect whatever it is that here's my thing, right? I believe that you should do whatever it is that makes you happy. If you're a gay man and you want to get married to another gay man and that's going to make your life happy, you know what I'm saying? Then that's what you should do, because I believe happiness is key to life, right? We should all be happy. Should all do the things that make us happy. So I don't care what you do in your life, whatever choice you make. It doesn't affect my life. I don't care if you're a gay man and you want to marry another gay man. It's not changing anything in my life, So I'm all for it. I support it 100%. Just like I support Mallory. If Mallory's going to be a more productive, happy human being as a woman, and she's going to feel better about herself, and she's going to, contribute to society, and it's going to make her happy, then dude, I will call you whatever you want. I don't care. I will refer to you as whatever you want because it's going to make you happy. But, some people don't understand that. Some people don't understand it, and they never will. And you have to understand that for whatever reasons it is, religious reasons, God doesn't believe that could happen, then that's what it is. And just like they have to respect your decision, you have to respect their opinions too. It's kind of what I told this person that emailed me yesterday. I was like, listen, you want everybody to tolerate Mallory's lifestyle choices, right? But then you need to learn how to tolerate other people's opinions about Mallory's lifestyle choices, because not everybody's going to agree on it. Not everybody's going to agree that this is a normal thing. There's whole entire channels on here that I found where this guy goes around, right? He questions people on gender and, talks about it. And he argues that, his theory and his belief is that it's a mental illness. okay? And he argues with people about it. And that guy has a right to feel the way that he feels. We don't have to agree with it. We don't have to like it, but he has a right to feel the way that he feels about it, because at the end of the day, it is a choice that you're making in your life. Do I believe being gay is a choice? No, I believe that when people are born, they are born feeling a certain way about another, about that, their attractions to people. You can't really control that. I don't believe that you can control who you're attracted to. I mean, I have preferences of, what attracts me as far as men go. So, if you're attracted to females, if that's what's in your heart, or males, or whatever it is, then that's what's in your heart. But when you're born one way and you decide to change into another way, then yes, I do believe that it is a choice. Okay, this is my personal beliefs. You don't have to agree with me. I mean, I watched Bruce Jenner's series, and he said that he always felt like a woman inside. And maybe he is born that way. I don't know. I can't speak because I've never been in that situation. I was a tomboy when I was little, and I liked more boy things than I did girl things, you know? So I could kind of relate with that feeling. I was just attracted to doing more boy related, you know what I'm saying? Boy related activities when I was young. But I know I'm still a woman, I still like doing other girl things too. I mean, so I could only I could only relate in that sense. But it is a choice that you're making, right? As far as your physical appearance goes to the outside world, that you're going to change your identity to somebody, just like if I wanted to change my name. It's my decision to do that. I would have to go and make that happen. So, I mean, a scapegoat, but I don't know, and I don't care. I don't care what he what Mallory has going on, in between her legs. I don't care. If she wants the world to address her as a woman, I'm totally fine with doing that. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem. It doesn't hurt me to do that, you know, to do that. It's not affecting my life. It's her life. She's got to live that life. But along with that choice, you have to have the understanding that people are either going to accept it or not going to accept it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got so angry when she tried to compare it to like the issues that black people deal with. Like, no, Mallory, that's not the same. A black person is born a black person. They don't decide somewhere in their lives, hey, you know what? I'm going to identify as a black person. I feel black inside. They don't do that. They're born that way, okay? And it's who they are, and they can't change it. And so, for people to be mad at them for that is crazy when you think about it, because it's like, dude, they didn't choose this in life, And I think it's crazy for people to be mad at Mallory in the same sense too. I mean, I can understand there's some similarities there, right? Because they're considered minorities, fine. But, and they have to deal with shit from other people who are different than them. I get it. It's the same in that sense. But when it really comes down to it, it's not the same at all. Trans people were not enslaved, for their transness. Like, there's a whole history that goes, with really, really bad treatment towards black people as a whole. Okay, that trans people, it's not the same thing. It's just not the same thing. Okay. They're not making trans people ride the back of the bus, okay, and use separate bathrooms. That's not happening. Okay. So I think trans people are getting a lot of rights very quickly, to be quite honest with you. They're getting the bathrooms in public places. I go into Starbucks and I see that there's a transgender bathroom. Like, we learned from our mistakes in the past, okay? And it's sad that we had to even learn from those mistakes, and that any race of human was treated in a certain way. I can't even like comprehend that in my brain. Like, could you imagine that? Could you imagine our society being like that and being alive during that time? I can't. I just can't even imagine it. I think I would be walking around crying every day because I would feel so bad for people being treated like that, like, oh, you got to sit in the back of the bus. Sorry, you're not allowed in the front. Like, what the fuck? What is that? Is that fucking real life? Like, that really happened though. That really happened in our world. That's not happening to trans people right now. They're not being cast out as an entire group of people, okay, and treated differently. There's a lot more acceptance, okay, then there is anger towards it. So how you could even compare the two is beyond me, because they're just nothing. They're nothing alike. They're just nothing. They're nothing alike. But I'm not black. I can't speak from her perspective. I could just listen. I was just watching a Dr. Phil show. Hold on a second. Kathy P always has good comments. I was just watching a Dr. Phil show where the mom was telling her daughter since birth she's a boy and wants to be a boy. So she dressed her like a boy, haircuts, etc., because the mom wanted a boy, not a girl. See, like that's messed up. Then you're putting that in your kid's head. See, like that's a whole nother issue that like I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I feel like there's parents out there, and I don't know how I feel. That's probably the best way to say it, because I don't know how I feel. There's parents out there that um they're allowing their children to like transition and take hormones and stuff when they're really little. And I watched this whole documentary actually on here on YouTube about people transitioning and then detransitioning when they got older. Okay. So like I don't know how I feel about um parents allowing their children, fine if they want to dress them another way, fine. Like I said, I was a tomboy when I was a kid, so I dressed more boyish than I did when I was girlish. Like I went through a phase where I wanted to dress more boyish than girlish. Um, but like to go through the extra steps when children are that young, I don't know how I feel about that. You know, we can't be like, oh, children can't consent to sex and they can't do this, right? And then be like, yeah, but they could consent to like going and having surgery. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that should be done when you're an adult, but other people might feel differently. It's just me personally, that's how I feel. I don't know though. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to have a child that feels that way. So I can't say. I can't say if my son came and told me that he feels like a girl and he wants to wear dresses, like you want to do anything you can as a parent to make your kid happy. And just, you don't want to see your kid sad and upset. So, I understand the parents that just want to make their kids happy. I get it. So it's like such a hard thing to even think about for me. But it's just sad. I wonder whatever happened to Jazz. I had a show about her transition. I think it was on TLC. Hold on. Parents who refuse to apply a gender to their newborn are fucking ridiculous, in my opinion. Well, yeah, I mean, reality is, okay, man, woman, when we're born. One has one thing, one has another thing. There's a reason that there's two different species, right? Well, man and woman. I mean, it's there's a reason. So, but at the end of the day, none of this for me is about Mallory's gender. I don't care what she is. It's about her behavior. It's about the way that she's using her situation to get people fired from their jobs and to make money off of it and to get attention off of it. And if you're traumatized, you don't get in a car and you start yelling, "That's the best content." You know what I'm saying? Like you're not acting and presenting as a person who's actually traumatized by something, Mallory. So you're contradicting yourself all over the place with your behavior. And it's just sad because you know what? There's people out there, and I'm not saying she's not one of them because I'm sure she is, that deal with real issues of people really being hateful towards them. Okay. And she's like watering that down. You know what I'm saying? Like people are, when real shit happens, people aren't going to take it as seriously because you're doing shit like this and you're taking away from the importance of the issue, the hate, because you're turning anything that's you're uncomfortable with into hate and bigotry. And that's just not what it is, Mallory. This person is not being a bigot towards you. They're not being a transphobic towards you. They're just simply confused. They were confused about what you were when they first saw you. Okay. They were confused what they were looking at. And that, you know what? That's an unfortunate thing that's going to happen because biologically you cannot get rid of some of the features that you were born with, right? That make you look more masculine. Same with me. You know, I can't get rid of those features. I'm going to have them for the rest of my life. So it's either you accept that and you grow and you deal with it and you learn how to deal with it, or not. There's this actually, I think they're from TikTok, but a lot of the TikTok stuff is now here. So there's a set of twins that they dress up, they dress up as women. They're still men, okay? So I guess you would call them, they call themselves drag queens. So that's what I'm going to go with, okay? They're drag queens, just like I guess RuPaul is, right? You know, RuPaul really goes, her normal life, his normal life is a man, but then dresses up in drag and is RuPaul. You know, it's like their alter ego. But I love the way that these two guys deal with the rude comments that they get from people who don't understand their lifestyle and the way that they deal with it. Like, I wish Mallory would watch them and take a page from their book, because they're sassy as fuck, and the way that they deal with it, I respect them so much more. They make a joke out of it most of the time, you know, or they use it as an opportunity to teach, but they never get hateful back towards the person who said the hateful thing towards them. You know what I'm saying? They never try to retaliate. They use the opportunity always to educate or make a joke about it and not take it so seriously. You know, they're like, hey, listen, you're not okay with our lifestyle choice, that's fine, but we're still gonna do it. You know, we're still gonna do this. You're not stopping us. So I love the way that they handle it. You know, they make videos, they'll respond to it, but the way they respond to it is like everything. And it makes you just have more respect for them because of the way they handle it. This is not how you handle it, in my opinion.
Bam. And we have Officer Taylor, who downright refuses to get with the program.
She does prefer to be a victim, Beaver. That's exactly what this is. This is somebody who just, they want to be a victim so badly, you know, because of being a victim is, it makes people feel bad for you, and then they super chat you and they donate to you.
Absolutely refuses and continues to treat me absolutely horribly.
No.
And dehumanizing me.
You're arguing with her, Mallory. The issue is over, and you're the one that's what kills me about this whole speech right here is like, dude, the issue happened, okay? 20 minutes go by and you bring the issue back up. And then now you're going to turn it around and act like she's continuing to dehumanize you. When you ask her a question and she explains herself, she gives you an honest answer, and because you don't like the answer that she gave you, you turn it around into she's demoralizing you, dehumanizing you, and debasing you, and every other whatever the fuck towards you. Give me a break.
While on public property, mind you. Public property. Committing no crime whatsoever. No crime. Standing on public property.
No. You were technically committing a crime. You were trespassing. They brought you out onto public property because you were trespassing. The issue still isn't resolved now because they need to figure out how to get your car off of the private property and to you on the public property.
No threat to anyone.
They don't know that, Mallory. They don't know that. They don't know that you're no threat to anybody. Okay? Because you still, in this entire hour-long thing that went down, you never even gave them a reason for you being on the property. You never explained to these people why you were there. Never once did you explain exactly why you were there.
Simply waiting for my vehicle. This is it. And this is how I'm being treated as a trans woman in 2023, people.
Wow.
This is not 1995. This is not even 2005.
So this is Mallory admitting, okay, that society has changed, okay, but she thinks that she's still being treated unfairly.
This is
that this is a new thing to people.
2023. And this is how this officer, this trained officer to go out and serve her community, is treating a trans woman, not to
Hey,
mention
get out
a
of here.
trans woman that is in town visiting, who made everyone aware that I'm visiting, which means I'm here assessing your community.
What the fuck? What do you mean you're here assessing the community now? Are you like, who are you? Who are you even? You're a tourist, okay? And assessing your community, your opinion on the community.
What happened to putting your best foot forward, Officer Taylor?
Oh my God. So now everybody, let's roll out the red carpet. Mallory's coming to town. Wow, dude.
This is the impression you want to leave your tourists with?
Because, you know, tourists never go to other towns and commit crimes, right? You know, just because somebody's a tourist, that means you have to be nice to them and welcoming to them. Well, get the welcome wagon out. Mallory's in town. Roll out the red carpet. And, you know, we'll start feeding her grapes and shit. Fucking entitlement, dude, is just on another level with these people.
This, I mean, what would your city's leadership think?
I think they wouldn't give a fuck. I think they would be like, good job, Officer Taylor, of getting this person off of the grounds of the children's hospital.
Is this inspiring anyone to return?
I just got to say, Officer Taylor got back, girl. Look at that butt. She's giving it right there. She is serving it right there.
I mean, honest
She's like working out. Buns of steel.
to goodness. I stayed at a 4-star hotel. You don't think
Ooh, a whole 4-star hotel. A 4-star hotel. Oh my God.
they would love to have my business again?
Yeah, because you're the only person that stays at that 4-star hotel, right? I mean, like she's like doing the hotel a favor now by staying there. Like, dude, this is just this is where I stopped listening yesterday. A little bit more past this because it just got so grandiose and out of control with like Mallory blessing the world with her presence. I just couldn't believe it.
Officer Taylor,
Obi, what are you
let's
doing?
continue.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, did you see my identification, dear?
Don't run
Right?
up on me now.
Did you see my ID?
Don't run up.
Yeah.
Don't run up on me now.
And I want to mind you, Mallory is the person who started this whole altercation that's going on right here.
Run out. I'm gonna take you to your car. Thing, what's your badge number?
007.
Yeah, what's your badge number and your name?
007.
So, okay, so she asked the officer to identify herself, and immediately the officer identified herself, and she did so right at the beginning as well. Okay, she identified herself several times to Mallory, both with her name and her badge number. Okay, and Mallory won't take that for an answer, but she expects this woman to take her word for an answer. Like, it's oh my God.
So, and there she is. I simply asked for a badge number, right? So I could properly.
And she simply asked you for your ID and you refused to give it to her. She's giving you her fucking badge number. And because it's fucking the same thing as James Bond, you won't accept that as an answer.
Have her information, and this is how she responds to me. She refuses to give me the appropriate information.
Oh my God.
Because after all, I'm not even human. To her, I'm nothing.
When was that? Does anybody remember the officer saying that she's not human and she's nothing? Like, this all sounds like Mallory's issues and insecurities coming out and being projected onto this woman, because nobody ever said that or treated her that way. If she was going to really treat her like she wasn't human, she wouldn't even have a conversation with her.
I'm neither he, she, or human.
Oh my God.
How dare I?
Oh my God.
I mean, because again, I've committed the most ultimate crime by walking onto a property, just walking onto a hospital property, right?
Did anybody say it was the ultimate crime? They didn't even say it was a crime. They just said, get off the property. We're going to help you get off. You have no business being here. You don't have any children that are in this hospital. Get off the property. That's all. That's all that happened.
You know, as if I flew a plane into a building.
Wow, Mallory. Yeah, that's something to joke about, right? That's something to joke about.
Do you understand?
That's not how they're treating you, though. That's not how they're treating you at all.
The absurdity here and how I'm being treated overall.
It really just comes back.
Abs-
It comes down to these people's narcissistic egos. That how dare you question me? How dare you fucking question me? Okay, that's really what this comes down to. They don't like being questioned. Yeah, she calls women roaches.
absolutely nonsense. But again, this is what happens when you're walking while trans in Memphis, Tennessee.
No, that's what happens while you're walking on private property. Period. With no reason for being there.
How has she treated other trans people? My goodness.
Oh my God.
What are these other trans people had to suffer from this woman who may not have had the
Now she's suffering. Wow.
the luxury of having live streaming and several hundred witnesses in their side chat at the time.
The luxury, literally anybody could live stream. Like, really? The luxury.
Right? It's sickening. People, I implore you to please click that link on the top. Please fill out what you witnessed.
And PayPal me.
How it made you feel. Please submit that to the Memphis Police Department. Please bring awareness to this video, to this woman.
Because I need money.
She needs to be coached.
And I want to go viral. You realize that's what these idiots are doing. Her, Molly Golightly, Betty Bullhorn. They want to go viral so badly. Hold on. Because once you go viral, that's where the big bucks come. Okay? Once you go viral, that's where the big bucks come in. And so they all so badly want to go viral. So they know that these issues, police issues, and Karen issues and all this shit is what's viral right now. So they want to go viral. And that's what they're trying to accomplish with this. It's crazy.
Her record needs to show as such. It needs to reflect that she is not an ally of the LGBT community in her.
Can I just point this out? Look at her hashtags here. Okay. Memphis PD. She knows that's a hot item, a hot topic right now. Why? Because she hashtagged Tyree Nichols, transphobia, LGBTQ, which is actually not the way it's written, from what I understand. I thought it was QT, but perhaps I'm wrong. She writes transphobia. She writes it again. Equality, Black Lives Matter, racial profiling. Wow. Hashtag NAACP. Hashtag Tyree Nichols. She wants people to, share this out. That's why she hashtagged the shit out of it, because she wants it to go viral so she can make money off of her trauma.
While she's serving. What's your name, 007? Yeah, you want to keep that, trust me, you want to keep that hidden from me, darling.
Now she's threatening her.
And there we have it. There we have it.
Yeah, there we have it.
Okay, let me get back up front.
Your exploitation of a situation.
That's not easy for me to watch. Because
it's not easy for her to watch, but she's fucking watched it how many times now?
Because that's the hardest thing. That was, honest to God, that was the most demoralizing experience of it all.
Oh my God, dude. All these buzzwords, demoralizing, dehumanizing, debasing.
Right? Like I said, I can handle the shoving. I can handle the pushing. I can handle...
Oh, she can handle the physical altercation. She's more upset about her fifis being hurt. Make that make sense.
A bunch of loudmouths, men, or women for that matter. Listen, it's not my first time dealing with a bunch of loudmouths and a bunch of egos, people. Listen, the thing is, But
We're listening. We've been listening.
this here, no.
Wow.
This is a completely different monster. This is bigger than me, right?
You're making it bigger than you.
This is bigger than the House of Williams. This is bigger than my audience. This is huge.
No, you want it to be bigger than you.
This is huge. This video needs to be
Is it bigger than the bird nest on your head?
shared out. People need to be aware when they get pulled over, they need to be aware who this woman is.
If you were really concerned about this topic, right? Why wouldn't you use this as a chance to, I don't know, tell people to donate to some trans group or something that helps educate people about these types of issues, or how about just not monetizing this video to really get the message across, But no, that wouldn't happen.
Right. She now strikes.
She stated many times she's an entertainer. She's an entertainer. She's an entertainer. This is part of her entertainment on YouTube. She
Me as the type of person that if she sees a rainbow sticker on your damn bumper, she's gonna profile you.
That is bullshit, Mallory. That is absolute bullshit. You did not get profiled in any way, shape, or form in this situation. If you were walking down the street and they came up to you and they made the whole issue about you being trans, the only issue, then maybe you could say you were being profiled. Okay? But what happened here is not you being profiled because they didn't even know what you are. How could somebody profile you when they're not even sure what gender you are? How'd they profile you, Mallory? Tell me. How'd they know? She admits to not knowing. She questioned you. You admit to the fact that she questioned you. And now you're saying you were profiled. That doesn't even make sense. Because in order to profile you, they would have to know exactly what they were dealing with in order to profile you. Like if you say you're being racially profiled, it's because you're a black person and the cops came after you specifically for that reason because you're black. That's what profiling is. How do you profile somebody when you don't even know what their deal is? It doesn't make sense. They profiled you as a trespasser. That's the only profiling that went on.
She's going to profile you. I have no reason to believe that she wouldn't at this point whatsoever.
She's watching that screen for them stupid
Some
chats.
idiot said the other day.
Mallory, where's your chat? I want to know where your chat went on this one.
She doesn't have a problem with trans people. She had a problem with you. She's got a problem with trans people, and she took it out on me.
That's your interpretation of what happened, though. That's not true. I want to see what the comments say. Can't handle all that profanity. Mallory, can you share the chat replay? I know it was difficult, but I appreciate you walking us through the encounter. You pointed out things that I hadn't noticed before. We all need to be educated with respect to LGBTQ issues. I'm proud of you for standing up for other trans people, but that's not what happened here. The St. Jude's Live had me crying. If you would have found another door and went in, I would have fallen out of the chair. The fuck? You're an idiot. Looks like Miss Williams is picking and choosing which comments. Look, she liked this one because she probably doesn't actually read the comments. Looks like Ms. Williams is picking and choosing which comments make it to where everyone can see. So I guess she was deleting people's comments. Also, you are not, I repeat, not a what, but who you are. She wouldn't have a job left by the time I'd be done. It has to be addressed. I lost a good friend, only 28, transgender, and she always felt embarrassed. She would be bullied, even moved. I was doing a show with her for my YouTube channel to open eyes and ears for educating others. We just started and she passed away. No obvious reason, waiting on autopsy. I hope it all gets worked out for you. I don't know what that has to do with this, but I'm sorry to hear about your friend. That's terrible. Wow. So all these people filled out these forms. Good idea for content. Yeah, great idea. The full side of your experience. Thinking like a boss babe. Yeah, great idea. Wow. So all these idiots filled out these forms. So the police got inundated with this bullshit all day yesterday. That's fucking great.
Period. right? People who don't have a problem with trans people don't use that kind of language ever on a trans person.
What kind of language? What kind of language? The he, she language? What do you mean that kind of language? What language did she use? She didn't use any kind of vulgar language that I recall.
They don't compartmentalize. Bigots do not compartmentalize.
Do you even know what compartmentalize means, Mallory? That doesn't even fit in this situation. What do you mean by compartmentalize? What?
That's what you have to understand.
I don't
There's no
understand.
such thing as a part-time bigot. I've said it before. As much as you roaches want to believe that your fearless bigots are only part-time bigots and they only use their bigotism on people that you
Who the fuck ever said that? Like, what the fuck are you even talking about right now?
don't like, you are kidding yourself.
That's not bigotry, though. I don't even see any bigotry.
There's no such thing. There's never
Oh, so Mallory is allowed to stereotype people, but nobody else is. Okay, I get it.
been such thing as a part-time fucking bigot. They are bigots. But I've got a gay child. Then your child has a fucking bigot for a parent. Period.
What the fuck are you talking about?
And if that child wasn't yours, you'd be saying shit about that child because it would be somebody else's kid because you're a bigot.
Wow. How not for nothing, but how could you be it doesn't even make sense. How could you be a bigot if you have a child that's like transgender? Like that doesn't even make sense. If your child's transgender and you support, right, your child being transgender and you encourage that, then how are you a bigot? That doesn't even make any sense.
Just like you're saying, when you talk about me, you're talking about somebody else's kid because you don't give a shit because you're a bigot and it's not your kid, right?
Everybody's a bigot. If you question Mallory about anything, you're a bigot. Anything. Doesn't matter. If you question her about anything, you're a bigot in her eyes.
You're just a fucking bigot talking about somebody else's trans kid. You don't give a fuck because you're a bigot.
Who the fuck is discussing trans children like
Guess
on
what?
a regular anyway?
My family loves this trans person. Every bit of me.
And guess
right?
what,
And I
Mallory?
imagine that pisses you.
No, I'm very happy. You know what? I think it's actually a great thing that Mallory has a family that supports her and her decisions in life. But okay, her family also shouldn't enable this kind of behavior. You know, supporting somebody is one thing, enabling is a totally different story. And you know, if anybody's sitting there, she has a whole fucking chat filled with enablers right now, just enabling this behavior. It's not even it's not even cool. But there's a difference between supporting and enabling.
Off. And you know what? My family would love your trans kids because my family isn't a fucking bigot.
Dude, if any person in my family came to me and told me that they wanted to change their gender identity, I fully support it. I fully 100% support it. You know, whatever's going to make them happy in life. I don't know what she's even talking about.
Right? My family would never, you'd never hear my family. My family are part-time bigots. You're never going to hear anyone in my family ever.
So wait a second. This makes no sense, right? She just said 2 seconds ago that people's defense is like, oh, I have a child that's trans, or I have a aunt that's trans, or whatever it is. But now she's saying that her family, there's no possibility that anybody in her family is a bigot because she's trans. What? Like you just said that that's not a thing, but it's only a thing in your family. So only your family cannot be bigots because they know somebody that's trans. But anybody else who says I'm not a bigot because my child's trans or my sister's trans, that's an invalid argument for anybody else except for the people in your family. Okay, we got it. Like I said, she doesn't care about these issues as a whole. She only cares about herself.
Some trans person or gay person or non-binary person, you're in these most foul you're never, ever would it happen. It's never happened in my lifetime. It's never going to happen. Never in my life. could I imagine that coming? It would not happen. Not my sisters, definitely my mother. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's not going to happen. Because they're not part-time bigots.
That's a great question, Beefers. I don't know what she does to elevate the TQ or QT, whatever it is, however you say it, okay? Community. I don't know. A community in which I think is a great community and one that I'm in full support of, and I think it's fun. I think, I'm in full support of it. But whatever the fuck she's doing here, she's doing them a huge disservice, in my opinion. Honestly. She's misusing terms, okay? She's completely misreading situations. I mean, it's a disservice to the community. When you start throwing terms out like bigot, okay? And it's not actually bigotry, then it waters the term down. Just like everybody calls everybody that's an asshole a narcissist nowadays, right? Oh, this person's a narcissist, And it like kind of waters the terms down because there's really people out there who have a disorder, that are diagnosable called narcissistic personality disorder. And they really do this set of behaviors. But there's people who could also do set of those, some of those behaviors, but not all of those behaviors. But people will refer to them as a narcissist. Anybody who treats you wrong is a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's watering it down, Mallory. You're taking the full meaning away from the word when you just start accusing everybody that says anything to you that you don't like of being a bigot. When anytime you have an altercation in your life, with somebody, you turn it around and turn it into an issue about your gender when that's not really the issue. You're doing your community a disservice because we're gonna start taking these issues less seriously now when we see you making such a big deal out of such a small issue. Such a small fucking issue. This is small potatoes, Mallory. There's trans people out there that are getting beat up and having hate crimes perpetrated against them just because they're trans. That's a fucking issue. That's when somebody's a bigot or a hate or a trans basher or trans hater, when they're fucking, violent towards trans people. This simply questioning somebody's gender, that's not what's going on here, dude. You're confusing people like myself, okay, and other people who aren't familiar with all these terms, who don't know this community, don't have an intimate knowledge of this community. You're fucking confusing everybody, okay? You're confusing. And then what that does is it makes everybody feel like they have to then walk on eggshells around your community because we don't want to hurt feelings by saying the wrong thing all the time. You're making it 10 times harder for yourself, honestly, by being like this. But keep doing it and see how far you get.
And the last thing they do is say such a thing and say, well, I can't be a bigot because my sister is a trans person, and then use me as their get out of jail free card of bigotism. You know how ridiculous that is? Right? I
Get out of jail free. Are you what the
insulted another trans person, called out her whatever what we say.
We mentioned what's between your legs, but okay.
And then holler, I'm not a listen, my sister is trans.
Let's use that argument, and now you're saying that your sister can't use it. You're really confusing people here. I have to say, I'm very confused.
Get the fuck out of here. Nosy, thank you. I have filled out thank you so much. Thank you for filling out the form, Nosy.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
It's really sad how these people are able to convince, normal, everyday people who are, emotional, caring people, right? Who have empathy. They fucking take advantage of them. They doing things that are fucking wrong. Okay. This is your issue, Mallory. If you have an issue and you want to just complain against the officer, then that's your job to do it. Do not ask other people to do it for you. I mean, that's just pure fucking laziness here. And you're really just making yourself look like a fucking idiot here. And you know what? The police department is probably more likely to take this less seriously because you're fucking harassing them at this point and encouraging others to do so.
I have obviously filled out the form, people.
I doubt it.
Now, obviously, more that we can get from Miss Taylor, you know, there were no actual witnesses, no people, no physical bodies standing there, right? So all the witnesses that were there, all the witnesses that saw Taylor there were all online. Now, here's the great thing about this video.
The great thing about the video that you were traumatized by, okay.
Even if the haters want to come in and they want to try to fill out forms, well, she had it coming. Watch the whole rest of here's the real video. We don't care because that's all static and bullshit.
We know you don't care because you don't even care about this issue. Really. You know, we know you don't care. You just want more attention. That's really all you want.
It's not going to excuse her behavior. And that's why I brought it all down to Taylor and I, because she's my complaint. So
the guys that physically what was the word, assaulted you or whatever the fuck, that's not your problem. Your problem is this comment. Okay, we got you.
Complaint. That's it.
She's trying to like be like this. I feel like she's trying to be like this Rosa Parks like type of character, right? In this situation where she's like fighting for the rights of everybody, you know, and taking a stand. But it's like, dude, you're taking a stand against like such a stupid thing that it's so benign. I mean, it might be that, I'm sorry, I don't want to minimize, okay? Maybe in her head, this really is a big issue. I don't know. But, you know, this isn't the issue that like there's so much more worse things happening that you could be fighting for right now that happen to other people, not necessarily you. But blowing this situation up to the point that you are, like I said, you're the one who's minimizing things, because in the grand scheme of things, nobody's going to take any of this shit seriously anymore. It's ridiculous.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about the overall way that I was treated here. And I very well could have, because I was treated very heavy-handed.
Very heavy-handed.
But my gripe and my hurt.
I don't know what Mallory's name was before she turned it into Mallory, but I think when she was picking her female name, she should have just picked Karen. Should just fucking went with Karen, because that's what she really just is.
And the damage to the trans community, you know, at a whole, came from Officer Taylor.
I mean, dude, like really, this is like so histrionic. I feel like she's morphing into fucking MGL over here. I mean, this is like the most histrionic, fucking crazy, over fucking done thing I've ever seen. Like, now that's damaging the whole community. Come on, Mallory, stop it. Stop it. It's a rainbow, Mallory. It's a rainbow for a reason, because it encompasses a whole range of different people within that community, within the confines of that community, right? Non-binary people, queer people, right? Gay people, lesbians, trans people, cross-dressing people, whatever you want to call them, okay? It encompasses so many different types of people in this one community. It's a rainbow. There's a whole spread of different people. So when somebody questions you, where do you fall in this category, right? Because I know you're somewhere in the range, but I just don't know exactly where you are. How is that a problem? I don't understand.
That's what I'm not standing for.
That's all that happened here.
That damage. That kind of shit can't go on in 2024. Not in Memphis, especially not in for LGBTQ people, our metropolitan areas are supposed to be our safe places. Not for nothing.
I would feel bad in this situation if Officer Taylor asked Mallory what she was, and Mallory said, "I'm a she," and Officer Taylor kept referring to her as a he, right? And like aggressively, but that's not what happened here. You know, she simply just questioned it, and then later on explained why she questioned it, and that she questioned it, and that's all that happened here. and she's making a big fucking deal out of it.
You know, a lot of us leave rural parts of America because, not for nothing, there tends to be a lot of ignorance in the rural part of America when it comes to LGBTQ issues.
I don't know if any officer...
So we all migrate, not all of us.
Wait, what did she just say? Hold on, I want to answer this person's question about the ID. Farrah, did any officer even ever confirm it said female on her ID? I don't think so. I don't know. She's the one who said it said, as far as I know, she's the one who said that it says female. Hold on, let me go back.
When it comes to LGBTQ issues. So we all migrate, not all of us.
Hold on, I didn't go back far
because,
enough.
not for nothing, there tends to be a lot of ignorance.
You're right, there is.
In the rural part of America when it comes to LGBTQ issues. So we all migrate, not all of us, but many of us migrate to larger cities, right? Because they tend to be blue, and they tend to be more, you know,
liberal, accepting,
less conservative, and just, you know, more inclusive and more understanding and more empathetic with, you know, the rainbow people.
So basically what she's saying right here is, I want to go to my safe space and be fucking coddled by people who have to walk on eggshells around me, because that's essentially what you're creating here, Mallory, is you're just basically throwing eggshells all around you and making people walk on them, because now nobody knows how to approach you in any situation. You know, what's the right thing to do? Could you, like, maybe you should make a shirt, maybe when Betty gets her sawgrass printer from her subscribers, maybe you should make a shirt, ask her to make you a shirt that maps out the proper way to approach you in every situation, so that nobody ever questions you about anything that you're doing. Because, like, that's what you're creating right now, is you're creating discomfort amongst people who are new to this situation, who don't know, who aren't educated on the situation. You're making people feel like shit. I don't even know how to handle, because that's how I feel right now. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know how to handle these kinds of situations. I'm like tripping all over my words, because are all trans people this sensitive? Like, I didn't know that. Are they all like this? Because that's what, if you're going to represent the community, Mallory, this way, that's what you're making us all think right now. You're making us all think that all trans people think like this. Okay. And that they're this sensitive about, you know, being questioned, which I don't know. Is that the case? Is that how all trans people feel? I don't know. But the way she's talking, because she's right now representing the trans people in this world, she's making us feel this way, you know, but she wants to be coddled in her little bubble, safe space. Okay, Mallory. You're not educating us right now. You're confusing us, honestly.
To see this happening in the city, I understand that it's still a southern city. It's Memphis.
Yes, that necklace is not a necklace.
It is civilization. Love MJ, thank you. You're not blocked. $20. Thank you. Love.
Money. That's what this is all about.
I went and I scoured that block list like 3 times and you were not on it, my love. Thank you so much. $20.
Wow.
Holy shit, people. Thank you for lighting up the super chat today. Please keep it coming. Please.
She doesn't ask much of her people, but please keep those super chats coming. This is where I got fed up yesterday and I fucking turned her off.
Good Lord. There's Justin for all. I love you, my love. I'm sorry we weren't able to do a live last night. Hopefully we can do it soon. I really look forward to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
Great question, Life Rewinded. How could people grow and learn without asking questions? You're right.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. You know, I'm old, people. I'm just oh yeah, the e-beggars. The e-beggars.
This is where I got fed up right here.
All using my footage, calling me the e-beggar, people.
Mallory, I didn't make a dime off your footage.
Listen, can we show them what e-begging is all about here? You know, what is the new one? I'm an e-beggar. I'm what do you call?
That's not new. just saying. You know, that's not a new thing, Mallory. You've been called an e-beggar ever since I've met you, ever since I've known of you.
Holding up the cardboard sign, a grifter. They love the word grifter, even though none of them know the definition of grifter. They just like the word, right? You got to have a grip.
We don't know the definition of the word. Let's look up the definition of this word. I got to get off here in a few minutes, but we'll look up the definition of a grifter. You have to have a grift. Okay, right now, this is the grift, Mallory. A person who engages in petty or small scale swindling. Okay, so what's a grift? A grift, engage in petty or small scale swindling. So a grift is a verb. Well, it could be a noun. All right, but her grift. Let's look up swindling. Okay, just to clarify, swindle. Let's see what swindle is. To use deception to deprive someone of money or possessions. Okay. So, like, let me give you an example of a swindle. Okay. Molly Golightly telling everybody that she's broke. All right. So, if a swindle and grift are synonymous with each other, okay, and a grifter and a swindler are synonymous, and that's essentially the same thing, okay, then the deception is Molly Golightly saying that she's broke when clearly she's not broke. Okay, she's deceiving people by saying that she's broke. You know, oh, I don't have money. Oh, I'm broke. I can't afford this. I can't pay my credit card. La la la. And then she's going out and buying Dolce and Gabbana shoes, or going on a really expensive vacation and staying at a very expensive hotel. You can't be broke and do those things. So that's a swindle right there. She's deceiving people by telling them that she's broke so that they give her money, right? And then all of a sudden she magically has enough money to be on a vacation. You know, that would, to me, that qualifies as a swindle. She's deceiving people. When she tells people, "Oh, I have no money because I'm paying for my mom. I'm paying all her bills. I'm doing this." That's a deception. That's deceptive, because that's not the truth, clearly, because she has money. Okay? So it's the same thing here, you know, what you're doing. You tell people, I believe in this live, that, oh, you know, the money funds the channel. It's the reason I'm able to travel to all these places. Mallory, you didn't travel anywhere prior to, like, what, 2 months ago? So what was your excuse all these other years that you've been e-begging? Why do you need a $200 gift card to Nordstrom to help you travel? How is that helping you travel? So you're being deceptive. Okay? So you simply are a grifter. I mean, in the most simplistic of terms, you're turning yourself into a victim here, which is deceptive, okay? And swindling right here, right now. So people super chat you, because you know that the empathy brings along the super chat. You caught on.
Grift in order to be a grifter. I don't actually have a grift. There's no grift here at the House of Williams.
I'm gonna
Right?
speed her up.
I just asked you to send me money.
I don't have a grift here. I just asked you to send me money. Wow.
Supposedly trained professionals down to my level of calm.
Oh,
That's
shit.
what I had
What
to
just
do.
happened?
So, like,
Did I skip?
tempers up to 10.
Fuck.
No one was
What did I do?
chat. Thank you, Stephanie, for the super chat.
Fuck. I just lost my
Get
spot.
the fuck out of here while watching my.
Oh my God. I just lost
Yes,
my
there's
spot.
no grift, but
Okay.
people don't know the meaning of grift.
Hold on.
Thank you so much. Tiffany sent 20 go into my
Hold on.
So you didn't just send it. This came in probably yesterday, I think, probably. And I
Hold on. Fuck.
Another $5. Thank you. Going into my March paycheck. I so appreciate it. Thank you. There you go. Thank you.
More money.
Oh my God. Maria, Tiffany, wait, Maria says Tiffany Mallory, we sent a PayPal. Maria and Tiffany sent a PayPal? Is that what I'm reading?
All right, you know what? I don't even have time to play the rest of this because I do have to get off here in a couple minutes. Let me just explain what she started saying yesterday about this yesterday, and this is where I just ended it because I couldn't take anymore. So she's saying that people don't know the word grift. Okay, she doesn't know you have to have a grift. I just ask people for money. Okay, I ask people just to pay me, and then she starts getting into like this is how I fund all these trips and the channel and the content and all this shit. But it's like no, it's not because you already had all this shit and you just started with the traveling. Like you've been on like one, maybe two trips, right? And bullshit, bullshit. Okay. I don't know what made her go to Memphis. I really don't, but okay. She went to Memphis. So there's maybe what, her third trip or second trip or whatever it is. And then she says that people learned the word grift from this series that was on Netflix. So like nobody knew the word grifter before, right? This is what she's assuming. Just like she doesn't want people assuming things about her or assuming what her gender is, but she's allowed to make all the assumptions on everybody else. So she's like, oh, people learn to grift from this series about a trans woman that I don't even know what the fuck the outcome of it was of the story. And they called her a grifter in the show on Netflix. And that's where everybody learned the word grift from. And now it's just a word that they use. I'm like, okay, they call you an e-beggar, grifter, swindler, con artist. It's all the same shit, dude. It's all the same shit. But she's assuming, first of all, I never even heard of the series that she was talking about. And I heard the word grift many times, you know? And yeah, she's like, and then there was what'd she call it? A trickle down effect. So the people that watch the series learned the word grift and they passed it down to other people. That's basically what she was saying. And then I just turned her off because I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Whatever you're trying to say here is just so stupid. You are pretty much a grifter. Okay. Pretty much. So you're kind of, yeah, you're an e-beggar. Maybe you're not a grifter so much as you're just an e-beggar. You don't want to get a job. So you sit up online, you expect other people to pay for you, pay for your clothes, pay for your shoes, pay for your food, pay for your trips. And then you here's the grift, actually. Here's the grift. And this goes for her, Molly Golightly, Betty Bullhorn, JLR, and all of them. They trick people into thinking that they're working on these trips, right? They're working, they're doing something for these families. They're working. Andrea, she's the worst of all of them because she actually we're printing out things, she needs office supplies. Like they're actually accomplishing something on these trips. They're working so hard. When we saw the last two trips, they did nothing. They did nothing. They stood outside a house. Nobody asked them to do that. Okay. Nothing got accomplished by them standing out of that little boy's house. Right. So, in order to work, there has to be a goal. There has to be an accomplishment that's made. Most jobs, that's how it is. There's tasks, right, that you have to do. And, there's usually a goal and there's an accomplishment after the goal is met. But that doesn't happen on any of these trips. Okay. They go out to dinner, they party, they drink, do each other's makeup and hair. How is that working? That's not working. That's insulting to other people when you say that that's working. You're literally just on a vacation, filming yourself on a vacation. Okay. And you pretend that you're working though. So that's the grift right there. You guys make it like, oh, we have it so hard. We have it so hard, this job that we're doing, but you're not doing anything. Nothing's being accomplished by anything that you're doing. You know, you're not like making products. You're not providing a service, okay? That helps people. You're doing absolutely nothing, really. Nothing. I would love to know one accomplishment of all these trips. What have they accomplished on any of these trips? Any of them? I'll take one accomplishment from any of them. Just one. Nothing. They haven't accomplished anything because it's all a bullshit excuse to make people think that they're doing something for other people when really they're just gossiping and harassing people and partying and doing fucking drugs and God knows what else on these trips. That's what they're doing, and filming themselves and making money, making people think that they care about victims and care about these issues when it's all fucking bullshit. So there's the grift for you. If you need to know what the grift is, that's the grift. Anyway, with that said, I got to get off of here. I got places to go, things to see. But as per usual, it was wonderful hanging out with you guys. And I'm sure I'll see you sometime in the near future. So you guys all have a great day. It's beautiful weather outside. Get outside and get some fresh air. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.